Hello and welcome to podcast number 52.
52!
We're going to be catching up on the recent films and TV shows we've been watching before catching up with the news. In the second part, we are going to be counting down our top 10 or top 5s on the best in terms of films, TV shows and games from 2022 or, in special cases, special events from last year. And then, of course, in the third part, we will be answering your questions. So first of all, just say Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
We just had a Christmas, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Crazy.
We did.
I fucking came and went like nobody's business. Like, I fucking swear when I was a kid, Christmas was longer than 2 fucking weeks.
It's because you were waiting for it for so long and you had like time off from work, probably.
No, I'm pretty sure we had like 3 weeks off of school, like when I was
Maybe.
younger. But
Maybe
like,
just felt that way.
But now it's just like
3 days and you're back.
it's like I finish work on the fucking 16th, 17th, or 18th of December. Then it's a week, it's Christmas. Then it's a week, it's New Year's. Then I'm back to fucking work, and I'm like, well, I might as well just not bothered.
Dude, I took so much time off over Christmas that I went back on like the 5th. Because it's like it's my wife's birthday on the 3rd, so I took a bit of extra time off as well. I think I finished on like the 18th or something.
Yeah,
so I had all that time off. Came back after Christmas and was like, oh, okay, I'm a full-blown alcoholic now. I'm gonna drop the fucking booze on my head for a start. I've been sober all month because I've had to have been like...
I drank so much beer that I had to do that. On New Year's Eve, I was like, yeah, I'm not drinking tomorrow. And then I didn't drink any beer for 3 weeks, and then I had a couple of beers last night, and I'm like, hey, back on it. Woo.
Very good.
But I'm obviously older now where it's just like, look, you just can't drink like you used to. You do have to keep cutting it back and being more active.
No, I can drink more than I used to. I just can't recover.
Yeah,
quickly.
I'm just dead the next day.
You work at home, so your day drinking is actually work drinking, which is I've told you.
I'm getting paid for
bad.
that. It's
amazing.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
Do it. Yeah, so.
I should do that when I'm editing
you can't drink
now.
all day if you don't
See
start
how
in the
the
morning,
reviews
right?
go.
That's logic.
Ian's going to turn up at 6 o'clock. I'm going to be rat-ass. What's it, Ian? Oh. So let's catch up. What did we watch over the Christmas?
Well, I mean, I've got a bit of a list here of stuff that obviously I watched, and then stuff that I needed to watch, and I just didn't actually get round to it. So I watched Banshee, the horror movie on. No, Barbarian. Sorry, Barbarian. I'm sorry, I looked at the wrong thing. I watched Barbarian on Disney Plus. Really impressed by it.
Dropped fast, didn't it, after the cinema?
Yeah, well,
I was like,
actually, since we've had Disney Plus, that's why I've not bothered going to the cinema, because it's just like, oh, this new film's out, and I'm like, fuck you humans, I'll wait till it comes out at home.
Shit rocks up fast, doesn't it?
Fucking Wakanda Forever is going to be out on Disney Plus, fucking February 1st.
A week or so.
I'm not going to the cinema. I'm going to watch that at home. Fucking, Avatar 2 will be on there because Disney Plus has got Avatar. But yeah, so I watched Barbarian. I was so glad I fucking watched that, because after the fucking terrible fucking Terrifier movies and fucking Halloween fucking ends, I needed a fucking actual horror movie, because so many people had said, this horror movie's great! This horror movie's great! I love this horror movie! And I'm like, I need an actual good movie. So I watched Barbarian. Why was it called Barbarian? There wasn't one barbarian in it.
That was the name of the building, right? The street was...
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah,
I missed it.
Paying attention to you. So.
Well, you know what? I was actually drawn in more of the visuals.
I don't know that they actually mentioned that till a bit into the movie, though, because I think there was a point where I was watching it like, where the fuck is this called Barbarian for?
Because she turns up at night, and we don't actually see anything until Justin Long turns up, really, when he's in daytime, which I thought was a really good twist.
Isn't it a perfect example of a movie where, like, I know you were... Because I remember when we went to see Halloween Ends, the trailer came on, and you went, nope, and fucking left. Literally went, isn't it a perfect example of a movie where you're like, don't know anything going in, just fucking watch it?
Yeah,
that's great.
And like I said,
I've got another example of that.
This is kind of my justification of why I didn't like the other movie that I shall not name, is because Barbarian didn't have to rely on that to be a good horror. We got gory kills, but what, 2, 3, maybe?
Not really any gore in it.
No.
Well, when she smashed Skarsgård's fucking head against that wall, I was like, that motherfucker's dead.
Yeah, mate, I was going to say, after this year for horror, the tolerance for, like, gore is way fucking... so I'm kind of like, I don't know, didn't really fucking see any blood.
The ending, I thought, was truly original. If you haven't seen Barbarian yet and you're a horror fan, please go out and watch it.
That's interesting, because I found a lot of people
really original.
Fell down at the ending. I don't know if you've seen it.
I really enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed it. Listen, I like that from fucking jump. In fact, the ending I thought was one of the best things. If one of my favourite things that happens in the movie, and it's not a spoiler because I won't spoil anything to do with the plot,
right,
is one of the most annoying things, or one of the, like, biggest tropes in horror is the person going to the place that they absolutely should not go in the moment they should not go to it.
Yeah.
And there's a wonderful moment in this where she finds a door to a place that's dark.
Yeah.
And you're just sat there shaking your head, and the character just goes,
"Oh well."
That. Slams the door and walks off, and you're like, "Oh, that's refreshing."
I watched the Banshees of Inisherin, which
I haven't
is the
seen this
Colin
yet.
Farrell, Brendan Gleeson movie.
It's on my to-watch list.
In Bruges reunion.
I thought that was brilliant. You know, a lot of people were saying that. They were like, "Oh yeah, it's going to be like in Bruges reunion." You know what? It actually felt new and fresh. Like they hadn't actually had all that experience working with each other. You know, because like the time period that it's set, like it's set in the early 1900s. You know, they're set on this island. There's no technology. It's really dark comedy. There are some talking points in it that you're like, am I supposed to be laughing at this? Because I want to, but I feel like I would be shamed if I will. Colin Farrell is fucking amazing as standard. I mean, I was watching an interview of him a couple of days ago where he was saying about somebody was complaining about when he released Alexander. And I went, oh fuck yeah, he was Alexander the Great.
Yeah, he went through a phase where they were really trying to push him as like a Hollywood
leading man.
Hero.
Well, yeah, there was like Total Recall remake
but the
all
crazy
those.
thing is, I was thinking of the same thing with Nicolas
Really
Cage.
good
Is
actor.
that I think they are. There's just the productions around them that aren't very good. I think like he was a really good Alexander in the scale of the epic that he was trying to do, because he at least made the film work. It's just maybe the timing, the audience that it was given to. They just didn't appreciate it. I kind of really want to go back and watch it again.
Kind of overshadowed by Angelina Jolie.
think
being in that
Angelina
movie.
Jolie
Like, she
was,
was
like,
coming on as
super
that
queen.
big like fucking megastar. So I do want to watch it. Fucking Linda sold it to me big time when I was round at yours. She was saying about watching it. And that's on Disney Plus as well.
It's on
right?
Disney Plus as well. Linda and I we watched Glass Onion. Because like I really love Knives Out, and so I went and watched Glass Onion. I absolutely loved it.
I will watch a Benoit Blanc movie every week.
Every day. Daniel Craig is fucking outstanding. I loved him as James Bond, and the fact that he's able to go off and do something that's completely opposite and still have me in stitches is brilliant.
I didn't think it was as good as Knives Out as a film. I didn't think the story was as good as... Because I really enjoyed Knives Out.
Knives Out I thought was really good
Glass Onion
as
I more
a
enjoyed
mystery.
for the way the characters
Glass Onion
were
I
as
really
opposed to the
enjoyed
mystery.
because it made me go, you know what? They can keep doing more of these.
Totally.
I could like it's like watching an fucking
like Death on the Nile and stuff. And, yeah.
Like Death on the Nile, like just a mystery, and like halfway through, I kind of got where the story was going to, but
you were like, fuck Elon Musk.
Dave fucking Bautista, my god. Like, I watched it and then I went and watched him face Rey Mysterio and fucking Triple H in a couple of matches. Because I thought about how great of an actor Dave Bautista. We watched fucking Guardians of the Galaxy 2 last night, and my god, Drax is absolutely still amazingly funny. I walked out of the movie halfway through and went and played Evil Dead because I wasn't watching the Undo Die.
For sure.
Never watched that. Like,
you clearly hated Glass Onion.
I can't stand anything to do with Ryan fucking Johnson. I hate all of his movies. I have not watched it. I'm not going to.
You know what's funny?
From the setup, I can't stand Ryan Johnson's characters ever since Brick. Yeah, I thought that was a piece of shit.
You were wrong about Brick.
I was not.
You were wrong
Can we
about
stop saying me I'm wrong, Ian? It's my opinion. I couldn't stand, obviously, the Star Wars that he absolutely butchered. I didn't like Looper. I thought that was just, it made no sense. I think Ryan Johnson thinks he knows how to write characters, but he writes characters that don't exist in any kind of reality.
No, that is true.
They are just so bizarre.
But then,
they're so...
Yeah, but sometimes you find the right niche, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I also think that he thinks he's smart, and I think he thinks his scripts are smart, and I don't think they are. I just think he's a pretentious little twerp. I can't stand him.
This is funny.
I'd rather just not talk about Glass Onion or Ryan Johnson ever again.
Because you are literally doing what I did with Terrifier.
No.
You are.
I don't know.
No, I'm not attacking you, Ian.
No. Just hear me out. No, just hear me out. You don't like the director, so you're not wanting to go and watch his film because obviously you don't believe the characters and development of the story that he's in, which I totally get. Don't ever watch something that you're not going to enjoy. That you're not going to enjoy
unless someone requests it on Patreon.
But at the same
time,
you got to. But at the same time, you also have to understand that it is a success. Yeah. Like I say, going back to the Terrifier thing, and because of that, that must
series,
mean,
right?
And like I said, not attacking you, going on the defensive for myself with Terrifier as well as you. So just acknowledge it when it comes around that conversation. Is that, you know, Glass Onion, like Andy said, is not as good as Knives Out, but they'll try and make a third one which will either peak the story left or right or things like that. But it is a movie set in a world, like he's not trying to set it in real world. Most of these movies are set in silly worlds that
it's an overinflated
sort
of version,
that the characters don't really exist in. Which, going back like I said with Terrifier, is the same thing with me with Terrifier. It's a horror movie that doesn't exist in a normal world where like Barbarian I could actually believe it could be more relatable. But
do you know what, sorry, just a quick one, sorry. Do you know what I do like about Daniel Craig's, because after Glass Onion, I think it became the Benoit Blanc show, it did.
Yeah.
Is like his last few outings as 007.
Yeah.
Personally, you could just see like he did not give a fuck in those performances.
I don't know,
really?
No Time to Die.
Personally, I don't think. No Time to Die, maybe, but like Spectre and like the singing one.
Shut the fuck up.
But all I'm saying is, when you watch these movies, you can see he's having the time of his life in that performance, and when you see a performance by someone who's clearly enjoying it, it makes it like. Yeah. Even better, to be honest.
But I saw that with
I won't spoil it, but the cameo they had of his partner, was as soon when the guy opens the door, you're like, shut the fuck up. Can we have both of them in a film, please? Like, you know, brilliant. I gotta admit, I really enjoy Glass Onion, but more for the character than the actual murder mystery.
Yeah. I just watched it for fun.
Do you know the whole thing could have been him in the bath on that Teams call.
Yeah.
No, I'd have been like, this is fine.
Linda and I sat down and actually watched Rings of Power all the way through.
Poor bastard.
Keep telling people to stop watching it. Don't do it.
You know, everyone kept saying that, and I don't know what everybody was fucking waffling about. Honestly. Like, I didn't actually watch it all the way through. Linda was watching it. Linda was watching it, and I was catching bits. I also
tapped out.
And no, I had to go off and I had to do things. I had to get editing done. I had to go to work and stuff like that. So Linda was the one watching it, and I would just come in and I would catch little bits. And I would sit down and I'm looking at it, and I'm just like, all right, okay, it's a televised adaptation of the Lord of the Rings movies. Basically, you could tell it from some of the camera shots, some of the stunts that they had tried to do, some of the prosthetics they applied to do, and stuff like that. What I got towards the end of it was a show that I was like, if you actually sat all the way through this show and hated it from like episode 3 but thought, I'm just going to keep on going, then that was your fucking mistake. You were not in the right mindset when that when the show started. I've done it personally myself with Game of Thrones. I don't want to watch Game of Thrones, so I'm not going to watch Game of Thrones because I don't want to sit there and go, oh, episode 2, I'm fucking not enjoying this. Oh, episode 3, I'm not going to enjoy this. Hoping for something to come along. I want to be in the right mindset when I sit down. For Linda,
is that why you enjoyed Rings of Power? Because you didn't watch that much of it?
No, I watched enough of it to garner where the story was going. Okay. You know what they were doing, and what they were attempting. They were right. This is Galadriel. This is what Galadriel's doing. This is the humans. This is what the humans are doing. Oh, by the way, Sauron's not here, so we're going to tell you how Sauron came into existence. Everything that you know about Middle-earth at this point actually hasn't happened yet. See these people over here that you're telling everybody are hobbits? They're not actually the hobbits. They're actually the ancestors of the hobbits. So it's in a time period where people are trying to grasp and understand what's going on, but they actually don't know where it's going. So I'm like, okay, don't keep watching it. We got to the end episode, and spoilers, something huge happens in the Southland that actually makes you go, oh fuck, now we're on the way to when he's going to get the ring. The only thing that got me, and this is the thing that I kept saying to Linda, like, I don't understand why this keeps happening. J.R.R. Tolkien wrote it this way. They all know Sauron's evil. They all know he was the lieutenant to Morgoth.
Right.
They all know that they should stop him and kill him. But once that motherfucker comes around and goes, hey elves, here's a little power ring. Hey dwarfs, here's a little power ring. Hey humans, here's a little power ring. They all went, cheers mate, thanks.
You got to remember though that he didn't rock up dressed as Sauron when he did that.
No, he waited out in the middle of the ocean
Yeah.
for this fluke chance that the girl Galadriel that might get him to where he needs to go is there. And it's just
And again, sorry, obviously this series.
That was your plan, Sam?
You know this series completely deviates from the books, right?
But I also
Completely.
sat with a Lord of the Rings fan who actually broke it down to me and went, "This is what I think is going for." So when I sit there with a fan who's enjoying it, I'm like, okay. I'm not the deepest fan, and she's not the biggest book reading fan.
Hey, no, that's great.
But she's the person who goes, you know what? I kind of got it, and I kind of
anyone who's familiar with the source material are, they've completely disowned it already because of how insulting it is.
But so did Walking Dead and Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but
they all deviated from the source material.
Lord of the Rings is a little bit more, sophisticated and part of literary culture than The Walking Dead.
But the movies deviated from the source material as well. It's always everything.
No, they were faithful adaptations.
No, they didn't. There was no Tom.
But I'll answer. No, but I'll answer.
You can't say it's faithful without Tom.
I can. I think one of the big differences, if you take like Walking Dead for example, you had like Robert Kirkman working on that.
Yeah.
So you've got the actual writer.
Mm-hmm.
So
developing it.
So one thing I would say is if
can't get Tolkien.
No, that's what exactly. No, but that's the point, isn't it? So if you've got the actual writer working on the series, if they change it, then technically it's a rewrite.
But it's the fact that they want to continue the cinematic films that have already been, and then go, we're in that world, but also it's also ours. It's also now we're doing our own version of it, but it's still in that world, but it's also ours.
But this is what I'm saying. At least you've got a series as well to go. You know what? When season 2 comes out, I'm not going to watch it. Right, and that's what I'm saying. At least we have a Lord of the Rings series.
Did they they confirmed a season 2?
Not yet.
Not yet. But budget-wise, mate, they'll have to have budget.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying because they spend. Isn't it the most?
Amazon have been really shy. They've gone. Well, we've had amazing viewing figures for the first episode.
I don't think
because no one's come back to finish it. Like they won't report the people that actually finished the show because not many people did.
Netflix would be like, no motherfucker binge this, gone.
Already. Look at what they did to Sandman last year as well. I have little to no faith in TV shows being kept along unless they make absolute bazillions. And don't get me started on everyone going, well, the first episode of that series was amazing. Give me more 8 episodes of that series and we'll see how far that goes.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch that episode.
I did start one of the greatest fucking TV shows ever, and I'm so glad I actually started watching it, and I think this is one of the best TV shows ever. I think it's better than fucking Lord of the Rings, fucking better than Last of Us, it's better than Game of Thrones.
You say what we did in the shadows.
It's better than anything that has been around for the last 20 years.
This is a good sell.
I watched Jack of All Trades with Bruce Campbell. My God, one of the greatest
fucking
TV
Is this new?
No, it's old. It's like 90s old.
1990s, mate, right. So Bruce...
Why am I imagining like a Bruce Campbell version of like Tool Time with fucking Home Improvement?
So we did Bubba Hotep and we did Black Friday just before the start of the year. Spoilers, sorry. And I was playing Evil Dead with Gary and we're prestiging our characters, and so I was just surrounded by so much Bruce Campbell.
You're in Bruce Campbell's
and I was
head
just like,
at
oh my
point.
God, I need so much. And so I turned to Gary and I was like, look, dude, I really need to watch Jack of All Trades and Briscoe County Jr., which I haven't started yet. And he gave me my memory stick and he's like, look, this is both seasons of Jack of All Trades because you can't get them on DVD. They are so fucking ultra right now. I'm like, okay. And I watched it and it's...
When was this? Is this like post Xena or like?
Yeah, it's post Xena,
93.
It's around that time actually.
Something like that. Or maybe 95, 96. So it's definitely after Armored Darkness. Armored Darkness was 93.
Because all the Xena stuff came after that.
Yeah, so Bruce
like
Campbell plays this guy called Jack, who it's 1801, and the French are at war with America. They've just ended the Battle of Independence and all that. And Jack Styles is just the fucking coolest of the cool. He can fucking ride horses blindfolded. He can sword fight 20 guys. He can swoon a bar full of women, which is fucking...
It's Bruce Campbell.
It's fucking Bruce fucking Campbell.
Say no more.
Being Gaston from fucking Beauty and the Beast. So I thought he was going to burst into song for a minute.
Mate, I can sing the old intro for you if you want, but he gets sent to this...
Yes.
Hold on, I got my...
Here we go.
In 1801, the revolution had been won, and Uncle Sam's favourite son had a job that needed done. And then it starts singing about this woman. I can't sing all the words.
Amazing. Outstanding.
So he goes to this island in the middle of the Pacific where there's the French governor, and he's tasked with this British female agent there who's working for the American government to keep stopping the French governor from doing these crazy plans. And it's absolutely farcical. It's absolutely stupid. There's one point where Bruce Campbell's riding 2 horses. Vern Troyer is Napoleon.
Outstanding.
I know. And there's even one episode where Vern Troyer wants to give America the Statue of Liberty, but he has to construct its face. And obviously Napoleon was a sculptor as well. But they're going to put explosives in there because they're going to blow up.
They're going to Trojan horse it.
They're going to Trojan horse it. Okay. But luckily, Jack, played by Bruce Campbell, has taken on the persona of the Masked Dragoon, which is basically this local legend of this masked guy who just comes in.
Fucking Zorro.
Yeah, like Zorro.
Right on.
My God. They stop him at one point and they whip his mask off, but luckily he put a second one on. So when they whipped it off, it was just there. Absolutely, it was absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I've got a couple of things, but I'll save them for I'll fill out my top 10.
Awesome. Nice. I want to bring up Wednesday.
Oh, nice.
I didn't think I was going to. I thought I would notice it and it would go by.
Still can't watch
it. But I was just like, you know what? I used to like Addams Family. I've always been, I like the kooky and the gothic and the strange, the supernatural. So I'll give it a go. Yeah, I'm in the mood for something gothic and that's exactly what I got. Like from the music, it hit me with that like Harry Potter vibe. These outcast children going into this place to learn, and there's werewolves and vampires and sirens and all kinds of stuff. And it's kind of got that children, bonding, making friends, making enemies, but then all working together to figure out what's killing people at this school. It's about 8 episodes, some really good performances. I thought Jenna Ortega and Emma Myers were really good, and Christina Ricci were also really, really good. Yeah, great cinematography, music, setting. I thought it dipped in the middle, but it kept me to the end there. I wanted to, even though I guessed who the killer was, immediately. Watching it play out was still pretty fun, and it's one of those shows that finished and everyone went, is there going to be a second one? And Netflix went, no, not yet. We're not going to say nothing yet. And then everyone went, well, who's going to buy it for season 2 then? And Netflix went, oh, no, season 2 confirmed.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, I might get a couple more seasons out of it. Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
If the quality stays the same,
I honestly couldn't. I still can't.
Why not?
It's Jenny Ortega, mate. I just honestly can't look at her. It's like looking at Anna Taylor-Joy as well. It's just like, look, just stare at a wall like this. like
there's no shame.
There's no shame. There is no
just
shame.
Control yourself. I mean, what the fuck?
I can't.
Jesus.
No, when I was younger, I had a thing for Wednesday. Christina Ricci grew up with me. I always thought she was wonderful. And then
he's going to get me too.
I totally. But Jenny Ortega. I got to, like, when I saw when the dance ended up all over YouTube, I was just like, this is now a new thing, isn't it? And that has just been plastered on absolutely fucking everything.
Linda's like, we're going to watch Wednesday and 2 in, you're like, get out.
No, that's it. I even told my wife that. I was like, I have to go upstairs.
You don't need to see this.
I can't watch this. And she's like, why? And I was just, and I told her, she's like, yeah, just go play.
It was a ghost.
It's a super spooky ghost.
It was a spooky ghost.
Oh dear.
Ectoplasm.
I gotta also bring up Avatar 2. Like, I know a few people want to get some feedback on Avatar 2.
Yes,
I mean, whether or not you've watched it or not at this point, the film is about to surpass the $2 billion mark.
It's nearly made as much money as Terrifier 2.
Nearly. I mean, Terrifier 2 is still holding the crown right now. But I mean, Avatar 2, it already made more money in its opening like fortnight than the original Avatar. So there was definitely, even though everyone complained about the original Avatar,
everyone went to see it multiple times.
Avatar is still now, as of now, the highest grossing movie of all time because it's been released more times than Titanic, and so it's finally surpassed Marvel.
Avatar 2 still the biggest earning movie, despite Maverick having 2 attempts at it.
Right, yeah.
Like, because they put that back in the cinema, like, fucking show you, James Cameron.
Right.
And James Cameron was like, hold my dick.
Yeah. Hey, Tom, hold my dick.
But if anything, it's confirmed now that it has made nearly $2 billion, that James Cameron is allowed to keep working on all the Avatar sequels.
And you know what James Cameron didn't have to do? He didn't have to take his movie to Mexico and sell it to the Mexicans like Black Adam tried
I'm pretty sure they watched it in Mexico, dude.
Oh, yeah. But he released it everywhere. He went, yeah, I'm going to release it in the whole world so everyone can see it. Black Adam went, well, we're going to try it down here first, then we're going to take it to North America. Did you see Black Adam?
Yeah, shit.
Yeah, thank you very much.
It was just straight up shit.
Yeah, I'm not bothered with Black Adam either. I mean, with the whole DC universe being reset and changed anyway, I'm just like, you know, I'll wait now. I mean, I'll watch the next Joker movie and the next Batman movie that are separate, still like art project movies or whatever they are, and we'll see what James Gunn
I was totally
does.
I was in full Grinch mode, and it was like, so James Gunn, he's coming and he's resetting all the DCEU, and everyone's outraged, and I'm sat there like, good,
get rid of it.
Don't give a fuck.
Wonder Woman 84.
So Avatar 2, 3 hours of beautiful imagery and fantastic sound. I will say I think it's fantastic what Avatar 2 has done in terms of the technology that James Cameron has brought forward and will become available for all filmmakers going, you know, into the future. This is something that like George Lucas wanted 20 years ago when he was doing the Star Wars prequels, is what James Cameron has got now. Yeah. And yeah, of course, it costs way too much money to shoot these films the way James Cameron's doing it. But like, think of the possibilities with that technology where any landscape, any setting, any environment, all is just going to be that well computer generated that you won't be able to tell the difference between the blending of shadows and particles. It's just all going to feel so real, so immersive. And James Cameron said because the technology is at such a place right now as a filmmaker, he doesn't even need to worry about the lighting because he's just like, put the sun over there, done, the lighting's all done, computer done. He said he's there for the actors every step of the way, and that is what's fantastic about his perspective as a director now. And I just think it's amazing how when that technology trickles down, what filmmakers are going to be able to do in the worlds they want to create and have it at such a fidelity that you're just like, I can't tell the difference anymore. Beyond uncanny.
It wasn't that long ago that everyone was kind of praising Christopher Nolan for being the only person who used like the IMAX cameras.
Yeah, that's right.
And now
yeah,
it's become because it's like you needed 3 guys to lift the motherfucker.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and now it's come down to absolutely. I like to think that James Cameron lives in a green screen house.
Right.
Like his whole house is.
He probably still lives in a submarine.
He just gets up and puts his fucking his golf ball suit on. And just walks around like, you know, just what are we going to do today?
It's funny because I've read some really interesting things about James Cameron last couple of days that I'd really love to know about a bit more. Like I was reading something that Ed Harris will never talk about what they went through on The Abyss.
Oh yeah, it was hell.
They say that it was absolutely
Kate
hell.
Winslet said it was hell. She'd never work with James Cameron again. Yeah, well, she came back.
Yeah.
She came back in a horror movie.
And you can stay on the board this time and don't go under the water. Leo's going under this time.
But it's like the same thing with Aliens. Like James Cameron was so nervous filming Aliens with the British crew that he invited a bunch of them to come and watch a movie with him. I think it was The Terminator.
To bond with him,
to bond with him, and half the crew didn't bother turning up because they just didn't like
They thought he was a dick. A lot of people think James Cameron is a dick.
But that's the thing, like, is he a dick, or is he just set on his image and what he wants to do?
Do you really think that anyone that can get a movie to 1.5 billion in 24 days has done it without being a bit of a dick?
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's impossible.
Well,
right?
And this is the thing.
It's
like,
going to be impossible.
I didn't want to go see Avatar 2 in the cinema simply because I didn't want to be surrounded by fucking 40,000 people.
Yeah, families, kids,
whinging and
people
moaning
getting bored.
You know, some people are gonna. I'm like, no.
3 hours, motherfuckers are gonna be standing up.
I've been waiting for James Cameron to release another movie since the last time James Cameron released a movie.
Like 10 years ago.
Because when I was a kid, James Cameron was making all of the best fucking movies that I wanted to watch.
Terminator 2,
and as I kept getting older,
mate,
do you know what we watched 2 weeks ago and it's still fucking great? True Lies.
Yeah, nice. Well, yeah.
True Lies is just
great.
Do it slow. Do it too small.
It's when he shoots that.
Get out! You're not going to want to see this.
He shoots the lamppost and he grabs his fist like, oh, thank God.
So anyway, despite I've not actually even talked about Avatar 2 at all yet, really.
But it made all the money.
The story was meh. I had a real hard time getting into the family unit because Sigourney Weaver plays a teenager, but it looks like Sigourney Weaver. It sounds like Sigourney Weaver. Sigourney did the mocap and the voice, but she's playing a teenager, and it was just so distracting the entire time. I could not get around it.
I read some people were praising that she's actually reinvented herself being able to play such a young star.
This technology lets her do it, and yeah, it was just weird. It was just weird because I know she's nearly 80, you know, and it was just bizarre.
Might be a bit of an embellishment there, but carry on.
It's not really.
Is she almost 80?
Yeah.
Is she older than fucking Jamie Lee Curtis?
Well, obviously. Yeah.
Somebody check the maths on this. I don't believe it. I don't
check the maths.
So
I don't think
she was born first.
It is an absolute visual, you know, treat. If you're in for it, it's absolutely fantastic. Right. But yeah, it's all the cliched. Humans are bad. That nature is good. Love the spirits. Love the animals. And technology bad. Despite Cameron, you know, making lots of technology porn, which is why everyone says it's like the first one.
What did you expect?
Well, I mean that's the formula of thousands and thousands of movies, right?
Right, yeah.
Are the humans trying to get something that's unobtainable?
No, the humans this time are just out to kill Sully because it's a vendetta story. Fair because enough. He killed his original version.
God, man, in that fucking what's her name, Zoe Sadal or whatever her name is, man, she's made money.
But my point being is like, what were you expecting when you went to go see it? I knew that's why I didn't go see it, because I knew how the story...
just wanted another, and I just wanted to go back to Pandora and just see more, and that's what I got.
Yeah, but and do what? Because
it didn't need to be 3 hours.
Anything to involve the people of Pandora was going to be close to nature, because that's what Cameron's selling us on. The whole world, connection, Gaia, and all that kind of stuff. So it was all going...
The world is beautiful. Now watch me blow it up in glorious high definition.
Yes.
Yeah, but even if you took away all of the human element and just had it Navi versus Navi tribal warfare, you were going to have the hippie-loving Navi winning,
and
the evil bad one. Yeah, supposedly.
Because I'm not being funny, when they were like, this is the way of the water after the first one being about land, everyone on the planet was like, I bet you the third one's about fire.
Yeah.
And he has kind of teased that there's going to be like a Navi fire tribe or something.
You're going to have a Navi group go, oh look, we've actually got guns and we're shooting the spear throwing motherfuckers over there, and oh look, they've got a bigger creature that's come down
flaming slingshots.
And Cameron's just going to be going, I don't care. You didn't like the story, you still bought the ticket, and I'm still bathing in all your money. I've made Avatar 4 with xenomorphs.
That's it though, isn't it?
A lot of it's already shot.
Is it 4 that's planned for release?
Yeah.
In total?
There's
They've planned up to Avatar 4.
2 more after this one. Yeah.
You should totally do that.
I'll watch it, but I'll be honest, I'm the same as you. Now that they put the banner up for it on Disney Plus, I'm like, oh wait.
Avatar
I'll just fucking wait.
See, you have Avatar 2, then Avatar 3, he brings in another Navi tribe that want to kill the other Navi, and
made a fire,
and the humans start working them with guns, and then they lose, and at the end of Avatar 3, they're like, how are we going to stop them? God. And a human's going to roll this thing forward and be like this, and it will be an alien egg. And Avatar 4 will be them dropping xenomorphs, and then it will be the Navi, the humans versus the xenomorphs. It will be fucking amazing.
Because it's all the 4 elements, so it's going to be Chris Tucker at the end, like, Cobra, my man. And he comes in. I have no fire. Fucking amazing. I changed my mind. I'm going to the cinema for that one. I'm going to the cinema for the Chris Tucker one.
Right, Gary, what are you talking about?
The Last of Us, episode 1. That's what everyone else is talking about.
The first
pretty good, man. This was pretty fucking good.
I never played the game,
no.
But I've watched them played through. I don't really like stealth games that much unless I really am immersed with those characters in that world. But if it's a zombie story, I'm probably going to be interested and going to want to check it out. And of course, all the talk on the internet has been about how good The Last of Us episode 1 is.
It was one fucking episode.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's okay. I mean, you're going to judge it on its first episode because it sets. They're going to want to
but the hype
keep you invested now in the rest. And I'm like, almost everybody that's gone to watch this show has either played the games or knows someone who's played the games. Yeah. So it is one of those properties that's almost a household name. I don't think
it's unfair to say that it's probably at this point now the best known game plot.
Oh, especially because of the leaks with the game, the controversy with the sequel, and now everybody's loving this. And all I could think of when I was watching this episode was probably season 2 or 3. We're going to have a whole nother recourse of the same conversations we had when the games went in one direction. When the TV show gets to that same crossroads,
which makes makes this whole hype for the first episode completely pointless.
Why?
Well, because
I don't think it does.
All right, that's fine. You two can have that opinion. Okay. What I'm saying is,
what?
You have one episode come out, and like we said, the major fan base went and watched it. Right? Anybody who played the games, or or have known anybody who played the games. How many episodes are we getting in season 1?
I want to say 8.
I think it's about
you want to say, but nobody's actually confirmed. We think...
I want to say... They have announced, I just can't remember. There's been reviews out of the entire season saying it's...
Yeah, the entire season's already out, so unluckily... 9 haven't got it. But, so they got all these episodes out. So you're either...
Sorry. No. They've only released episode 1. But I'm saying that there are reviews out there of people that watched the whole thing. I think that they said it was 8.
Yeah, exactly.
Mongo in the chat's calling it 9, so we'll go with the man in the know.
So you're going to get either your audience who are going to watch it all, and it plays out exactly, and it doesn't deviate from the source material, because we know fan bases hate that fucking shit happening. And when that doesn't happen, you're going to have your fan base knowing exactly what's coming around the corner, which people are going to complain about.
Well, no, because no one's done that yet, have they? That's the point.
But they will. Because that's what people do. They will
complain.
I think and on the other side, the most likely thing that they'll want to do, which is the best thing that they can do to keep the TV series alive and fresh, is deviate slightly, just a little bit from the source material, which is going to upset their fan base. So by the end of season 2, I can probably predict that the hype for it is going to start to fall off a bit. Because you're either going to know exactly what's going to happen around the corner, or you're not going to care what's going to happen around the corner. But my point being
saying everyone's getting hyped after episode 1, and you've already predicted the end of season 2. Everyone's getting too far ahead of themselves. Anyway, so the end of season 2, right? We're going to do this.
This is the thing. It's like, how far are you going to take this story? Walking Dead just had, 9 seasons?
Well, it depends.
And it's 11 seasons. Yeah. Walking Dead's had 11 seasons and almost 3 new spin-off shows, yeah? Last of Us, everyone's like, this is the greatest fucking TV series ever.
Does it matter?
They haven't even got close to what Walking Dead is, and if they want to try to,
they just started.
If they want, from what I'm understanding from the internet, from what I'm reading on the internet, it's like the first episode's come out. This is the greatest TV series, better than Walking Dead.
Yeah, I understand the hyperbole, people saying that it's the best thing ever.
Why does it matter if it drops off? Fucking hell, the enthusiasm for Walking Dead dropped off like 5 seasons ago, and it's still fucking waiting.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that people should at least wait a little bit instead of, like we said, some people have already reviewed it. How? Why have people already watched it and reviewed it for people who aren't even going to have access to it?
Because everything happens like that. Everything happens like that. Every show
that's why Walking Dead was successful, because when the first episode of Walking Dead dropped on the FX, nobody had seen anything like it before or knew what was coming. We had no idea where we were going. What I've just said is that Last of Us is not only based on something that we know of, that they're going to try to either stick to or deviate slightly from, but they're going to try to keep it mainly for their fan base. And 2 or 3 seasons?
Yeah, but so what?
Possibly.
Yeah. No, but all I'm saying is, obviously, I have played the games multiple times. Yeah. So I've just sat down and watched a fucking, what was it, like an 80-minute fucking episode.
Yeah.
Where I've gone like, okay, so
it ticked all the boxes you wanted.
Yeah, but isn't that something to get excited about for once?
Yeah.
Yes,
because wait, hold on.
Yeah,
sorry, before I set you off on another rant by saying I like something. I mean, you're gonna get you're always gonna get
negatives.
Slight deviations, because at the end of the day, you can never shoot something on film the way it's done in games. At the end of the day, there was a really interesting thing that Pedro Pascal put out, which fucking made me laugh. Which is obviously someone was saying like, right, are we gonna see him crouch down, walking? You know, because like you spend all that fucking game crouch sneaking around and stuff, and then you come out
dying
and
repeating.
And Pedro Pascal was like, look, no. He's like, because I'd have quads the size of tree trunks and stuff. You know, like there's going to be slight things where you don't. Yeah. You just you
one
can't
for one.
translate
Yeah, you don't
stuff.
do it.
Because also, sorry, if you think about. If you talk about a game that you're going to put, say, 12 to 15 hours into as like a playthrough, the action beats of you're moving from area to area to area. You can't do that in a series. So all I'm saying is that I think the reason that there is all this hype and everything around this episode is because it's come out of the gate swinging hard.
Which can be its downfall when people hype it too much. And I'm not attacking it. I'm not saying that anybody is
no, but I'd just rather watch it.
What I'm saying is it's not going to live or fail based on hype.
I said this to Gary a couple of days ago. If they had a whole episode where it was just Joel sat next to a little campfire with the girl and he's just playing on the guitar and they spend an hour just chatting, just the two of them, fucking let them, because that's good writing. That's
if
good.
It is,
that's good.
As long as it is.
Pedro Pascal can do that with his characters, but allow the series, allow the show, allow the actors to build that up. No. And I have no intention to at this moment. You're
gonna wait until the end of season 2 and then you'll watch it.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to see where it goes, because at this moment I have no interest in it. I have no interest in The Last of Us game. When it first came out, I was like, "Oh wait,
it's so good, dude."
Yeah, and I heard it was great. And when Last of Us 2 dropped and you had all that massive wildfire all over the internet, I disliked the people hating on it for no good reason. The game itself, fucking a hell of a success. The people slating it for the slight changes that the developers and creators decided to go with it. Fuck you. You go back and write. It
wasn't a slight change though.
Yeah, but why should they get that hate for changing something that they created?
I can understand people hating their choice, but what I do,
you don't get the chance to hate on people like they did by actually messaging people over the internet.
That's what I'm saying. There's a difference. Yeah, exactly. I can hate their choices,
unfair.
But I don't necessarily then go and hate them for doing it.
You know what? I saw a really interesting little video on, I think it was IGN. There's a slight spoiler for the first episode, but there's a radio report. So there's this thing about how Joel and Sarah, his daughter at the start, avoid being infected. And it's because at the start there's a radio report how there's basically a report. It's like a fucking zombie trope, isn't it? You hear on the radio, there's been mass riots in here.
Yeah.
They're talking about an outbreak in Indonesia.
Yeah.
And it's the place where apparently is like the world's biggest production of like flour.
Right.
You know, flour you cook with. Yeah. So the first thing that you have, because it's Joel's birthday, is she's going to make him pancakes. But they haven't got anything to make pancakes with, so they're not eating any flour. And then you've got later on, there's like, he doesn't bring a birthday cake home. She doesn't eat cookies that she's offered. There's like 3 or 4 beats where she just, through coincidence, doesn't have any products with flour in, and that avoids them getting...
That's cool.
I didn't even fucking clock that.
Because
like, it's not like I was listening to it going, Indonesia, where they make all the flour. Like, but it was just little touches like that were great.
That's cool.
I thought it was a really positive start.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
I will say, I'll be watching it each week.
And I do hope they do really well with it, yeah.
The performances from everyone involved were outstanding. It really hit that emotional gut punch that was needed. That's what, when you play the first game for the first time,
absolutely,
like that moment is the hook that you're in this universe to stay, and the TV show emulated it perfectly. I will say, like, the pacing for me, at the 40-minute mark, I drifted off to sleep for about 5 minutes, woke up and rewound it. It was just...
That's
I thought the pacing was actually really good.
Okay, no, I mean...
But again, I'm familiar with the story.
Yes, well, it's the fact that it does a 20-year time jump, and then you've got to figure out where everybody's at, how this world now works, and then basically gearing up to go and do the thing. I will say there is 3 fantastic visuals in that first episode, and one includes an airplane crashing. The second one includes a grotesque display of this however old corpse that is flowered and grown into the wall. If you ever saw the film that came out, all the ladies go into that
Annihilation.
It's very much a visual out of Annihilation. which was fantastic, and it basically tells you sets what you need to know for what the clickers, the monsters, are going to look like when we do actually get to them. So that visual was great, and of course the very final shot, it was so spectacular and so baiting, you know, because you see at the very last shot is the destroyed urban landscape and the characters going into it. Exactly. So I'm just like, that's great. That's a great as well, lead in.
They've used the same actors from the game who did the clickers. They've brought them in.
That's great.
To fucking, which is like, yeah, of course you do. You fucking dumbass. Why don't people think of it? You know, yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, Resident Evil went, oh, what did they do wrong? Yeah, let's not do any of that.
Absolutely. I mean, it might be hyperbolic to say, but I will say that that one episode is the best live action adaptation of any video game I have ever seen. And I've not played the game. I've watched it. But this was quality, and I usually always say to HBO, you're going to get a quality product from them. Usually,
I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to turning into one of the fucking people I hated the most when Game of Thrones was first out. Right. So when Game of Thrones first came out, and because I watched it up to I think series 4 before I tapped out on it.
Sure,
that was just me personally. I just didn't agree it, but I'd be watching it like, oh, what's this Game of Thrones? Yeah, it was quite interesting. Obviously, you know, this is happening. I wonder where it's going. Every person I knew that had read the book. Just you wait like this, and I'm like, motherfucker. So people in work,
that's
why
like,
I watched that fucking Last of Us. I'm gonna be like, that asshole. Just you wait, like, you know.
That's why I'm not. That's why I'm gonna wait until.
I'm gonna enjoy being one of those assholes.
You can be that asshole all the way through, telling me the reasons why I watch it, and then when it gets.
It was really interesting when Joe do this, and I'll be like, you don't know shit!
Yeah, I'm still not going to watch it. I'm going to wait until the fucking finishes and then wait until 10 years later. And then when you go, I can't hear you, Sonny, I'll go, I'm watching The Last of Us, Andy. Shut the fuck up!
But by then I'll be like, that's funny, I'm playing Last of Us Part 1 on the PS7. No, I bought it again.
For the next, all my other copies.
I never fucking learn.
Should we get into the news?
Yes,
yeah, go fuck it.
Awesome.
Yeah, fuck it.
Alrighty. Well, sadly, as it usually is the case, we do like to honour those that have passed, and I'd like to talk about Mike Hodges, who's passed away at the age of 90. Fantastic British director, best known for the classics Get Carter and Flash Gordon. His films ranged from sci-fi, horror, crime drama, and space operas. He left an impact on film and literally created cult classics.
Big bucket of wind, as they say.
Indeed. Next news story. Now this one really sucks, and I got really worked up and pissed off. Quite frankly, because I didn't think it would happen to me. Because we've all heard about the Warner Brothers layoffs and all of their cancellations and tax write-offs. One of my favourite shows, it's been on my list, my favourites, or nominated at least for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Snowpiercer. Snowpiercer Season 4 has now been shelved. Most frustrating is that the writers wanted 5 seasons and the producers then gave them 4 before cancelling the show. Now, after filming is finished, the 4th and final season, they finished filming, it won't air at all. At least on TNT, like its original, you know. Deadline has reported that Snowpiercer, the only remaining original scripted series on TNT, is done on the Warner Brothers Discovery Network. The post-apocalyptic drama's completed 4th and final season will not run on the network as previously announced. This comes down to the Warner Brothers tax write-offs. We can confirm...
I was about to say, is that...
Right,
yeah, they've written it off.
Just about to say, yeah.
They can confirm that Season 4 will not air. It was a difficult decision, but our admiration for the talented writers, actors and crew who brought Snowpiercer's extraordinary post-apocalyptic world to life remains strong. We've been working collaboratively with producers since last year to help the series find a new home, where fans can continue to enjoy it should we get paid first. I added that last bit.
Yeah, it was an extremely difficult decision, kind of figuring out if we should release this and lose all our money, or shelve it and try and get it written as a tax write-off. So we went with the tax write-off.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because I was, I did wonder, and I think we talked about it when we mentioned Batgirl, with this being the only time that they could possibly get their money back with the merger. It's like, I wonder if there'll be anything else that this fucking happens to it.
Yeah. Snowpiercer, it's happened.
I reckon there'll be a few more.
I at least hope that somebody steals it, pirates
no, but doesn't this?
or
Right.
gets
I was going to say no. I assume it's in the same thing.
It's going to be in their
where
vault.
it's like you can't
even get to it.
The second you release it, you owe us that money.
Yeah,
so,
but the moment it gets out onto the internet, as soon as
exactly.
it's the same problem. So they burn it.
I'm not saying go pirate stuff. I just want it out. I honestly, with Snowpiercer, there's a chance another network might buy it and then go, oh, you did have more seasons planned? Well, let's see. It could happen, but it really, really sucks. Next up, The Walking Dead. We were talking about it just recently.
Yeah.
AMC have literally just made an announcement to say what's actually happening with The Walking Dead going forward.
They should just stop.
The main news here is that Fear the Walking Dead will now come to its end. Its 8th season will be its finale.
Wait, I'm sorry. What? Fear the Walking Dead's on what?
It's the 8th season.
Fucking hell! I swear they were getting cancelled after season 2, and then season 3.
That's when the hype
there was never any talk of cancelling it. They've literally just said we're bringing this story to it, and it does feel like the Fear the Walking Dead was reaching its conclusion. I was surprised it continued after they dropped nuclear bombs on the characters.
Yeah.
But yeah,
because that wasn't explained in the fucking, the actual Walking Dead. That came.
Well, it's a completely different part of America, so.
Yes, but nuclear radiation, Gary, doesn't just stop at borders and go, hey, we're not going anywhere.
Well, no, that's why the entire season was based on.
Notice everyone's sick? I mean, fucking hell.
No, they had to deal with the fallout. They had to deal with not knowing the way the wind was blowing. They had to try and find radiation-free zones.
I meant in the actual Walking Dead. Fear the Walking Dead. Where are we in the with
So I suppose you're saying like where the storyline of that, where's Fear the Walking Dead? Does it run alongside or is it?
Both shows have had time jumps, right? Yeah, because there's been both shows have had numerous time jumps. So.
Right, but did they drop the nukes before Andrew Lincoln or after Andrew Lincoln?
I don't know because it's a different show.
Like, Texas to Georgia is a long way.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Yeah, Texas to Georgia, different areas of America.
Yeah,
so yeah.
Always my issue is that I thought Fear the Walking Dead would have run alongside The Walking Dead and would have kind of
because it already started as a prequel and stayed prequel for the most part until it.
They started as a prequel, then they started going over here, then they started to interact with different characters, then they were still going off of this, and then things started changing. COVID happens, things are all going all over the place. It's like this thing at the moment where Maggie and fucking Negan are going off together. I was talking.
Well, they were supposed to get their own series.
Well, I was talking to a Walking Dead fan yesterday.
But Zack Snyder shot them both outside of the fucking.
They're Batman's parents. It's their new adventure.
They're a Walking Dead fan and they're a Last of Us fan. Played the games as well, and. They were actually saying to me, they were like, look, I'm not watching The Last of Us now. And I was just like, how come? They said, look, I've got to wait until... I've got so much to watch. I'm going to wait until...
binge it when it's all out.
I'm going to binge it when it's all out. But they also said, look, I'm really concerned of where they're going to go with it. And like I said, I'm not a fan. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? And they said, well, honestly, I like The Walking Dead. But don't you think it's completely wrong that Maggie and Negan are going off together, on this kind of adventure after he killed what he did to Glenn? And I looked at this fan and I'm thinking, whoa, this person really needs to chill.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, you know what? That's a really good point.
You thought that?
Yeah, I did. But then I'm thinking, well, that's where this goes. Because as a fan, we love the ideas that come out. But then some TV executive sits there and goes, oh, you know what would really work is if we take two characters that shouldn't even be anywhere near each other and stick them in a situation.
Because there's great drama there, and I will say the last season of The Walking Dead, the scenes between. I've forgotten her name, but yeah, between Maggie and Negan, the two actors are so electric with each other that like there's even like a weird chemistry, a weird energy between them both where you're like they're either gonna kill each other or they're gonna make out. There's and because of their characters' histories,
Buffy and Spike all over again, right?
They shouldn't be.
What do you mean they shouldn't be?
Work for Buffy and Spike.
Well, okay, he's already got a partner who's pregnant, right?
Yeah, he's married. Yeah.
So in this new season there should be no sexual tension between them
because then you're gonna. Didn't he have like 9 wives when he first?
Yeah.
Then you're just gonna like. What's the point of Negan?
I'm not saying they're going to, but I'm just saying that's the kind of energy they have together.
But that's
so
what I'm saying.
Pairing them together.
If that's the energy that they've got, and that that that'll come up at
because
some
we don't
point.
know why they're going to be together in this show yet. We don't
isn't-
know the reason why they're there. It's not like, oh, well, they're best friends and going on adventures together.
She's
But
certainly
Also,
not.
that can sometimes just be like almost like the objective of the writer. It's like,
Yeah.
if I think the audience is going to figure out what
Like-
I'm going to do, I'm going to go the other fucking way.
I mean, how do you reconcile, with somebody who killed your husband, the father of your child?
Oh, do you know what? It's hard enough.
yeah.
It is hard enough to
You
win an
don't.
argument with your missus on any given day.
Yeah.
But if she's got a card like, remember that time you busted my fucking boyfriend's head in? Like,
With a
baseball-
fine,
Yeah.
I'll take the rubbish out.
They're gonna.
So yeah,
every
the
time.
the writing has been good for these two.
I reckon that's. I don't want to put my head on the chopping block, but I think I will. I think that one, the Maggie and Negan one, will actually be the worst out of all of them, because I think they will try too much, too quickly to try to get it off and running. Especially if The Last of Us, if the first episode of The Last of Us can create such a massive hype, they'll have something to contend with, which will mean bringing in excitement and drama and tension, and you'll have the two of them almost kiss, but they're not kissing. Remember what Glenn and your wife and stuff. And some writer will either get it wrong and ruin the series, or they'll try and do something and they'll get removed, and the studio will step in and go, no, we want them to kiss and have sex.
You're very pessimistic this month. Who hurt you?
40.
Is that what it is?
40, motherfucker. I will fucking keep going, bitch.
I'm really looking forward to the Negan Maggie show, especially because of the
Fuck
setting.
y'all.
There's a great setting for The Walking Dead. They're going to New York City. We're going to see a city landscape.
Negan takes Manhattan.
Yes,
Yeah.
Negan takes Manhattan, and the actor's already said, because some of the humans that he has to deal with here, he's got no choice but to bring out some of his inner Negan in order to help Maggie and himself sort of survive here.
Well, that was the whole character, really,
Yeah.
wasn't it? At the end of the day, every character.
He's reformed, but he might need to be bad to be.
Yeah, it's that thing of like every character, no matter if they're good or bad, are just basically playing the game the way they think it's got to be played, right?
Yeah.
It's like, this is how
Yeah, but
I
it's
think
like,
I've got to do to survive.
You tapped out of the series at season 6, right?
About 8, I think. About
So
8,
what, before
something like that.
before Negan got captured?
No, he'd been captured when I'd seen him. Obviously, the spoilers. Carl went, I suppose.
Oh, yeah,
When I
yeah,
fell out of it.
yeah.
Yeah, but again, I don't. It wasn't
See, I
like
stopped
it
it
wasn't
when they
like
captured
oh
Negan. I
fuck
was
this,
like,
I've
I'm
had
good.
enough. I was
I'm
just
good.
kind of like I just didn't have the time to keep up to watch it, so it's like it's kind of on my list to like again because it's
Yeah,
on, it's
I
on
want to go
fucking
back.
Disney
I haven't
again,
done
right?
the Whisperer saga,
So
but
I need to do that.
I'm kind of happy that that's there.
Yeah, no, I
But
need to watch that.
I don't. I won't do Fear the Walking Dead because I don't want to drag in anymore. And yeah,
I'll probably end up watching it at some point.
Hopefully
Do you know what's
Negan
funny? I bet
Maggie
you
one is good.
The Last of Us will end, and if it's as good as it was in that first episode, I'll be like, oh man, I really want to carry on watching some
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
undead
yeah,
awesomeness.
yeah.
So
Survival-
I'll probably pick it up
Yeah.
then. Because I can see maybe actually, I know like you're saying, a lot of people saying about the Last of Us being that thing like, oh, maybe it'll inspire, they love to jump on bandwagons, so studios will be like, let's make more zombie stuff. I was like, well, no, hopefully studios will be like, let's make more computer game stuff, but do it right.
Exactly, Resident Evil.
You know,
I posted that meme onto Discord the other day with
Netflix.
The Simpsons are on Netflix. He's
Yeah.
hitting the Resident Evil fan. He's pointing at The Last of Us. That's funny.
do you know what's really funny? Now?
So
I'm going to be the last of us to watch that show.
probably.
Yeah,
But,
I believe it.
you already
I believe
are. So
it.
that's
So
what the show is about.
we got the Maggie and Negan show,
Yeah.
which is coming
God, I
out.
hope it's called that.
Right? It's called Walking Dead Dead City. That's what that was called, Dead City.
Walking Dead City.
Walking Dead Dead City, yep. The next spin-off show is The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon, which will also be coming out later this year.
The
While a
Walking Dead
limited
3D.
series featuring Rick and Michonne is now filming this year as well. So those will be the spin-off ones, whereas the two main shows, because the ones that they're doing are sort of specials. They're not intended to be beyond that season of episodes. It's just a few episodes done. It's not gonna be ongoing like the main show or Fear.
It's kind of getting to the point where it's like you do wonder if like, can they even wrap up fucking storylines in a show because they're too busy thinking like we want to branch off.
Well, yeah,
into all these
it is
fucking
universe
spin-offs,
building now.
It's
Exactly. But the thing is, with The Walking Dead, you can literally, if they want to, they can go, let's go back to the beginning again.
I quite liked in
Let's
The Walking
go.
Dead how they kind of
But
like
the-
those first couple of
but that's-
seasons. You were like, no one's safe, everyone's fucking
But
dying.
that's my
Like,
concern with The Last
know.
of Us. Is like, right, okay. In The Walking Dead and The Last of Us, they're post-apocalyptic worlds, right? And you're either striving to either wipe out whatever it is that's trying to kill you so you can go back to some kind of normality, yeah? or you end up just living alongside of it.
Well, no, no. I gotta admit, that's not really the world it presents in the game. It's not, honestly. It's more because, like, yeah, when you isn't
have
this
a little
kind
safe
of
zone.
No. It's just there isn't really like this kind of feeling of like getting back to normality. That's not really an option.
Yeah, exactly. You never.
No.
The same with The Walking Dead. It's the same with Walking Dead. The zombies are always there.
Yeah.
So it's like. So like I said, when I finished this Walking Dead, when they captured Negan, I was like, I don't care if they do another 17 seasons. I've gotten what I've gotten. I'm happy with it, and that's where I'm ending it. If they had gone, oh yeah, it's the final season next week, and they're gonna save the day, I'm like, well yay. That's where's the drama go from there?
It's about the characters, isn't it?
The reason why Kirkman
started if you're done watching it, it's because you're like, I'm not interested in the story of any remaining characters. I guess I'm done, which is also fair enough. But
the reason why Kirkman started the Walking Dead universe was because he was tired of zombie movies ending where they fly off in the helicopter, and he's like, but like they've got to land somewhere. The zombies are still there, so keep going. Keep telling the story.
So like,
keep going.
For me, like The Last of Us, one of the biggest successes The Last of Us could go with is if they just kept going. All right, Joel is your main character because he's the main character from the games, but you can have more characters. You can invite more stories. You can do so much more because there's a whole world to live in. It depends on if your audience. It depends on if your audience wants
trust me.
Yeah, and The Walking Dead carried on without its main cast.
They're already fantasy casting this week. I noticed there was there was like fantasy casting for characters from the second game.
You're right.
You know, and it's
inevitable.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, we're going into overtime here, so I'm gonna blitz through some of these news stories. Yeah. Velma, most hated show on TV right now.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I heard.
Who thought that was a fucking good idea?
How do you fuck up Scooby-Doo? Watch Velma and you'll find out. Maxine, that's with Triple X in the middle. The third movie in the X trilogies moving forward, as Ty West has finished the script now with Mia Goth, and she's claimed that it's her favourite script of the three films. She said that it's going to provide the greatest cinematic experience of the three movies. It was never meant to be a trilogy, but after the collaboration on X, Pearl developed and then produced and grown now into a trilogy. X was the 70s slasher Texas Chainsaw vibe.
Yeah.
Pearl was like Wizard of Oz dressed in
prequel,
Technicolor.
Pearl's the prequel.
Yeah,
I haven't watched those.
So yeah, like it goes back in time.
I'm going to wait for Maxine and just blitz all through.
And then Maxine is going to take it into the 80s. So really. I wasn't too taken by X. I was like, it was fine. X was fine, but after Pearl, now I enjoy X even more as a result. Next news story: the latest in the Planet of the Apes movies has announced the casting of William H. Macy.
Sweet.
Yeah, nice.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes plot has been kept under wraps still. The only info that's come out right now is that it's going to be set years after Caesar. So basically now the apes are ruling themselves after the foundations, and we'll catch up with them at this point. No other news.
Still
on
Matt
that
Reeves
one.
directing?
I think he stepped away now
Because of the Batman, obviously.
I think so. Yeah. So
I would love to see if they discipline their children in that movie, and if it's just a case of mums and dads spanking the monkey.
Nice. Let's see where we're going there. Sorry.
Oh dear.
How long have you been holding that one?
Just thought about right then.
Maybe
as soon as he said monkey, I thought it was spanking the monkey.
A lot of casting news. Some of the news stories a bit light this month, but Ridley Scott has cast Paul Mescal from After Sun, Normal People, to star in the Gladiator sequel. The sequel ideas for Gladiator have been floating around for 20 years now, but Ridley Scott has settled on his cast and his story, and it's going to follow the son of Lucilla, who's Connie Nielsen from the first movie, now that he's grown up. And
the one who's like, I always pretend I'm you.
Yes, the one who loves gladiators in the arena. So, So, I don't know. I wasn't the biggest fan of Gladiator. Of course, I love Ridley Scott and his visuals, but I don't know, Russell Crowe, that film, it didn't...
I really liked it.
It was alright.
But as a standalone, you know, it was like Spartacus.
Yes, yeah.
Like watching the
That's what he wanted it to be,
movie,
didn't he? He wanted to create
now
that.
they're going to make Gladiator 2.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's funny that you bring it up because I only saw an article on this today and I was like, fucking really?
Yeah. Gladiators.
Gladiator 2, Gladiators.
Well, we got another movie that's going ahead in the remake treatment. 1954's Them is getting the remake treatment from director Michael Giacchino.
With the ants.
Yes. This is the director that did...
the little girl screaming like, damn, at that bit, yeah.
the Marvel Cinematic Universe's Werewolf by Night.
Oh, nice.
And
good.
everybody's really happy with this director. Apparently, he's been a fan of these types of films since he was a child, and so he's really excited to do this. He said, there's always a movie in your mind that never leaves your head. For me, that's Them. It wasn't until much later in life that I'd learned what it was about, the nuclear age. What I love about Them is exactly what it's called, Them. It's about the other, the unknown, which one refuses or can't understand. The current version of Them is about immigration, and to tell a story about that subject through the lens of this insane science fiction monster movie. So,
Do you think they'll change it and it'll be they/them?
yeah, get pronouns right.
That would be, yeah.
I'm all down for this. Like, them is a classic, absolute classic.
I love it.
So, if I'm going to see giant ants on screen, I'm like, well, they're not going to make another bloody Starship Troopers, so I'll take ants.
Possibly no worse than fucking Sharknado, can it?
Right. James Cameron has said that more Terminator films are a possibility.
Just don't.
Discussions
There's
are
no
now
fate.
underway, but nothing is moving forward yet. James Cameron is busy working on yet more Avatar films, but he is pondering and discussing where to take Terminator next. Sat down with the Smartless podcast, James Cameron said, if I were to do another Terminator film and maybe try to launch that franchise again, which is in discussion, I would make it more about the AI side than bad robots gone crazy. So I definitely think he wants to lean more onto the sci-fi aspect of it, which is like the new Megan film that's come out, which is like Child's Play but more into the rogue AI kind of thing.
I apologise now, but fuck that wanker.
Who?
What?
James Cameron. He can go fuck himself if he thinks he's got his fucking greasy fucking money laundering fingers on the fucking Terminator.
Alright, that's a bit of a fucking accusation, isn't it?
No,
money laundering.
No. I said I'll fucking apologise. I went and watched fucking Terminator Dark Fate in the fucking cinema. I sat in the fucking cinema. And when we sat down, when my wife and I sat down in the fucking cinema, his fucking giant Ed appeared on the fucking screen thanking us for fucking paying tickets to come and see this new fucking Terminator movie, because obviously he was really wanting to look
James
into
Cameron introduced it when you went to see it in the cinema.
He introduced it. Because if you remember in Genesis had come out.
I tried to forget
right,
it.
Yeah, people did. Cameron came out when Genesis came out and said about how he'd watched the beginning and how it just reminded him of so good Terminator 1 was, and how Genesis was just going to just skyrocket the fucking franchise again. And it skyrocketed the franchise. No, Genesis had the...
Was that when he was on...
Genesis had Boomerang Man in
Avatar, wasn't it?
Genesis had Captain Boomerang in it.
It did.
And they had the Terminator 1 franchise. Yeah, and that was fucking Cameron. And because it failed, he didn't get much money from it. So he didn't have that much money for Avatar. So then some... No.
Whoa, dude. I don't think that the budget for Avatar hung on the success of Terminator Genesis, dude.
He helped put money into Avatar by slapping his name onto Dark Fate, because what else did Dark Fate have in it? It had Hamilton and fucking Schwarzenegger in it. So everybody immediately thought that Cameron, Schwarzenegger and fucking Linda Hamilton were all coming back to Dark Fate. No, Cameron just sat at the beginning of my fucking screening thanking me for fucking coming, and might as well have just had a wad of money in his hand going
that he was laundering.
Because I had to sit there for the next 2 hours and watch Tripe. So no, he's not getting the fucking movie.
Who hurt you, honestly?
James Cameron did when he fucking allowed Dark Fate to go fucking ahead. Fucking ass.
Go on, what's the rest of the news? I fucking dare you. Go on.
Sam Raimi?
Yeah, Sam Raimi's alright. I love Sam Raimi.
Go on, you can do it.
Oh, he's producing another horror thriller.
What the fuck?
Terminator thriller.
Jack of all trades, the horror.
This one's called Don't Move.
Alright, okay.
The story follows a seasoned killer injecting a grieving woman with a paralytic agent. She must run, fight, and hide before her body completely shuts down.
Crank!
But she's pissed.
Reverse crank.
But she's pissed up.
It's a female crank.
So she's paralytic.
Well, no, she's going to become, completely...
Oh, what, you meant she was pissed?
No. No, she's going to
This woman's paralytic and she's got to get away.
She's slowly becoming more and more paralysed. So she
so it's gonna be a scene from Ace Ventura halfway through the movie. She's gonna be like, can't move her. Three guards is too much.
It's got Bill Skarsgård in it. Next news story.
Sam Raimi, he'll do it good because Sam Raimi always does good horror.
Right.
Yeah, man, we're down for that.
1990s Ghost is now getting remade by Channing Tatum. While speaking to Vanity Fair promoting Magic Mike's Last Dance, Tatum confirmed that his creative partners now own the rights to Ghost and that they are actively developing a new version that's going to be slightly different.
I think he won't be a ghost. We're going to change something. Just a little bit.
It's going to be the girl who dies this time?
Do you know what? I was literally about to say... 100% it's the girl that dies.
I thought the thing you were going to say was the thing they were going to change is the song.
That's right.
It just won't be the same song.
Do you know what? Actually, I will guarantee that's the one thing they won't fucking change. What's Top Gun Maverick?
That'll be it. They won't change it.
They won't change it.
And they'll have a cameo of Whoopi Goldberg. It'll be her granddaughter who sees the ghost or something.
Whoopi Goldberg would probably insist on being in it.
I hope so. She's great. Yeah. She's great in Ghost, especially. But yeah, I'm kind of a bit sad. I don't quite trust Channing Tatum's acting or his studio.
It's been a while since he did anything
love Ghost,
close to
okay, and
right?
I think the original it's fantastic. I'm like, this one doesn't need to be remade.
The best role Channing Tatum has ever seen, and I've not seen a lot of them.
This is the end.
No.
When he just pops out of the Winnebago at the end.
No.
And he's like, I love him.
Even better than that. Fucking Hateful Eight. When he gets shot in the face.
Yeah, he was great in that.
Yeah,
he gets shot in the face.
Right away.
He's like, hey,
everyone was great in that movie, though. So it was all fucking hard, you know. Yeah, I thought everyone was great in that film.
Yeah.
The Callisto Protocol devs, Striking Distance Studios, and parent company Krafton have adjusted the expected sales figures for the game down from 5 million to just 2 million. Poor reviews and technical issues at launch have left a real bad impression. Next month sees the first content drop for the game. Will it make a difference? Dead Space is just a couple of days away.
What content are they doing? Like extra DLC?
Story content. There's going to be more chapters, more alternate stories in that world that they built. There's going to be more locations, more weapons, more animations. They're just going to keep building on what's there, so that each time you play through it, you might have something different. But right now, it's like we don't know what that content really is, how much it's going to be, and how much there's going to be.
The crazy thing is, I was watching some footage of the Callisto Protocol, and like I said, it's a poor man's Dead Space. But tell me if I'm wrong, because you actually did play both games. Is Evil Within better than Callisto
Evil Within's
Protocol?
better than Callisto Protocol.
I thought so.
Evil Within's great.
Just from watching the footage.
I enjoyed those two games.
I like because there were some sequences where I'm like, this is just like Evil Within. You're stealthing, trying to avoid monsters. There's machines that are going to rip you up, and you've got to fight your way through. Though, for some reason, I'd rather just play Evil Within. It just... I feel more
better characters, better world. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
better mystery.
You said to me the combat physics are a little bit to be desired on
massively
Protocol, aren't they? And that's
yeah. They tried something new. There's no games I can think of where you have this kind of fluid sort of dodging melee combat in a survival horror. Now, Silent Hill, Condemned in first person. I actually mentioned Condemned when I was playing Callisto.
Yeah. They did it well.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Remember the elevator? That time in the elevator.
Oh, man, we were so smashed. We were around mine playing fucking Condemned 2. We've stoned out our... fuck, it's out there now. We were drunk off our asses.
Drunk.
Fucking trying to get out of an elevator for about 45 minutes till we realised it's not going for a hatch. It was like...
Not find that hatch.
So dumb.
Chucky has been renewed for season 3.
Yeah.
The casting crew of Chucky would like to thank fans and critics alike for their overwhelming response to season 2, which we're delighted to announce has now spurred the official green light on season 3. The news has made Chucky very happy. Thank Dan Balla for that, because otherwise Chucky would have been frankly impossible to deal with. Many thanks to our parents at Sci-Fi USA and UCP for helping us keep Chucky busy. See you in 2023 for what Chucky himself promises will be his scariest season ever. That was all the words of Don Mancini. So yeah, that is awesome news. Chucky is... I will say season 2 was not as strong as the first one, but it started strong and ended really well. There was just, a bit of a lull in the middle. But Jennifer Tilly scenes, there was a whole episode just with her in her home, sort of having that meta world where... like everybody still thinks that it's Jennifer Tilly, but no one realizes that she's been possessed by Chucky's girlfriend, and so she has to keep up appearances as pretending she is still this actress, when really, yeah, it's like she's not.
Scenes with Jennifer Tilly, dude, it's fucking
take money. Yeah, it was great.
Jennifer Tilly does strange things to my emotions.
And there was lots of Bound references this season as well. FX has confirmed that Alien TV series from Noah Hawley will shoot this year. Set on the near future Earth, no Ellen Ripley, a few decades before the first movie, respecting the films to come before it, an extension and reinvention, not to be confused with the new Alien movie that's also being shot this year by Fede Alvarez, the guy who did the Evil Dead remake and Don't Breathe with Sam Raimi. Standalone Alien movie and the Alien series, both shooting this year.
Oh, I've gone cross-eyed.
I'll keep you posted.
Disney, mate, it's all going to be on Disney Plus. They own it. They own it all.
Yep. Becky.
She's a Disney princess now.
The film that released in 2020 was a home invasion action thriller. A sort of a gory, less funny Home Alone.
He's got like the shaved head and the beard and he's trying to act all fucking... Yeah, I was...
Mr. Will, Kevin James, woo!
I just didn't buy it.
The sequel is now in the works, and the poster shows a very bloody-looking Becky. The film is going to be called The Wrath of Becky. And in this film, after living off the grid for 2 years, she finds herself going toe-to-toe with Daryl, the leader of a fascist organisation on the eve of an organised attack. I enjoyed Becky. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. The actress played Becky was really good. And yeah, what's he called? Kevin James?
Kevin James.
I don't really like much at all. Was actually put in a good performance as a villain. He took it seriously.
It seems like
he wasn't goofballing.
It's like, how was the same shit happened to the same girl twice?
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm more than happy to watch this girl just tear apart a bunch of fascist dickheads. I'm all in.
Fair.
From season 2 has announced its premiere date of April 23rd. From, if you're not aware, unravels the mystery of a nightmarish town that traps all those who enter. It stars Harold Perrineau. If you're a fan of Lost, where a bunch of people, crash on the island, can't get out, there's no way out.
What was the Stephen King series of the town? This that came out? Skarsgård.
Shining.
No, but
Salem's Lot.
No, you're just naming Stephen King movies now.
Christine.
But they're all in it.
Shawshank Redemption.
You know the one I'm talking about, the series
Jaws.
where
Baywatch.
It's got Skarsgård and if he goes near people, they all fucking freak out and stuff like that. And they did. It's like 2 seasons of it. Chat freaked me out. Just
I was thinking Under the Dome, but no.
It was the other. It was the other one.
He's not in that.
It was the other one. Was it?
I'm not gonna get it. I'm not gonna get it.
What's the Stephen King? Maine? Wasn't it called Maine?
No.
Where he was? Are you talking about the one where he was inside the prison? They found him in the bottom of the prison. Yeah,
but it wasn't called Maine. It wasn't.
Kingdom?
No, it wasn't called Kingdom.
No.
It wasn't Under the Dome.
I'm gonna Google it. And it'd be amazing if it was called Maine.
If you've not
Castle Rock.
Castle Rock. Thank you, Maine.
Wait, but isn't Castle Rock where they had those little Muppets underneath the ground?
That's Fraggle Rock.
I really do recommend.
I wish I'd let you sing the whole song.
It's one of those seasons, one of those shows that's come out, and I don't think it's getting enough eyeballs. If you like mystery horror with some gore and some very freakish looking monsters or creatures, the premise is all these people that are driving, and then they drive into this town, and then they can never drive out again because they drive out in a straight line, and guess what? They end up coming straight back down the road, back around again. There's no way out.
It's like Cornwall and Rush Hour.
And there's literally little pockets of families and friends and people that have all gone, we're all just going to live in this one house, because at night time the vampires come out and the vampires want to eat you.
Was from the show I told you to
yes.
look at. And
in the first episode, like in the first 5 minutes, just to tease you, you watch a family get destroyed when this child's like, oh, you're innocent, I'll let you in. and it's a bloodbath. And so, yeah, it's really well acted. It's got that nice mystery to it as the characters start trying to figure out where the hell they are. Can they get a radio signal? Can they get anything? Yeah, a bit like Hobbs End from In the Mouth of Madness. It's got that Lovecraftian vibe. It's got that, are we even on Earth anymore?
Like
Dead End. Fascinating show. Really hyped for season 2, April 23rd. Now, I do have a couple of trailers, but I think we'll just mention some of the trailers of some films that might be worth watching.
Yeah.
Beau is Afraid. It's the new film from Ari Aster, the guy who did Midsommar and Hereditary.
Midsommar and fucking Hereditary are amazing.
Yeah.
This new film is rated 18 for strong violence and graphic nudity. It stars Joaquin Phoenix. It's gonna be an event movie for sure. The Renfield trailer with Nicolas Cage as Count Dracula.
It's got all the money.
It looks fucking stupid and over the top.
Yeah,
I can't wait to watch it.
Nicholas Hoult as Renfield in a rom-com where Renfield falls in love with a traffic warden.
Yeah.
Because of course.
M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong has got a new film.
With Dave Bautista, so it's going to be good.
Knock at the Cabin. It's a horror thriller family invasion movie. Dave Bautista leading the invasion, making demands that may seem a bit more apocalyptic.
Do you know what he was great in? I really loved it.
Blade Runner?
He was great in Blade Runner, but I think it's called Brunswick, which was the American film where like America gets...
What, Dave Bautista?
Yeah. It's set in like a borough of New York where they just start getting attacked by soldiers. And you literally follow this girl who hooks up with Batista, and he's like he's kind of like a survival op marine guy, but you don't actually find out about any of his history. You literally, it's just like guerrilla warfare. The camera is just following them through the streets.
Okay.
He was great in it. I absolutely loved him in it.
Awesome. Well, that brings us to the end of the first part of the podcast.
Actually, quickly, before we finish, I had this on my need to watch this, and I need to know if you've watched it yet, because I haven't watched it and I really want to watch it. The Pale Blue Eye.
No, Christian Bale movie.
Yeah,
do you know what? I was going to watch that the other night, and
I didn't.
Right, I think I'm going to end. We're going to end this section now. For the next podcast, the three of us need to watch The Pale Blue Eye so that we can at least talk about it.
Okay.
Sweet.
Also, one last news story. I want to put it out there. Julian Sands. Bless him, British actor.
Fingers crossed.
Fantastic actor.
Fingers crossed.
Gone missing in the Californian mountains right now.
Yeah.
The Warlock. Yeah. Boxing Helena.
I'm hoping somebody hasn't boxed him up and we find him like missing limbs. And somebody's like, I saw this in a film once.
Get you, Julian Sands. Hopefully we get some good news from that story, as well as Jeremy Renner making a bit of a recovery right now, which is always also good to hear.
Not a great start to 2023.
No.
I don't know. Alec Baldwin's not doing too well.
Oh dear. No. Well, we're going to take a very quick break, but don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we're going to be counting down our best picks from 2022. Don't go anywhere.
Sterling professional, I suppose.
And welcome back to part 2 of the podcast, where we are going to be counting down our best picks of 2022.
Nice.
Some of us have a top 10. One of us has a top 5.
Yeah, because I did some really cool shit last year, and I didn't actually have to get any bigger.
5 times. You did some really cool shit. 5 times.
No more, no less.
You're lucky I did one really fucking cool thing that overrode everything of last year. So I just had to add stuff to it.
We feel lucky.
Yeah,
you just want half the section off. That's where it's like, I'll get these fuckers.
No, it's my shit's a fucking bomb.
Well, Ian, do you happen to have any honourable mentions?
The funny thing is, like I said, my top 5 are like the coolest fucking shit I did last year, or the shit that I just thought was just bigger than anything else. But towards the end of the year, a couple of things kind of snuck in, and one of them I was really, really lucky to get was Witcher 3 for
the game
for Christmas,
right
for the Switch, and. Like, one of my honourable mentions, it's in my list, my top 5 list, but one of my honourable mentions is going to be my fucking Switch at the moment. Like, my game list for the Switch. I bought more games for my Switch over the last 2 years than
ever before.
Than anything I had on the Xbox.
Is there like
an
equation where it's like, if you any game is improved instantly by 2 points if you can play it on the toilet? It's like, well, it's a 5, but it's on the Switch, so it's a 7 because I'm shitting while I'm doing it.
I'll be honest.
That's a real math equation. That's a real math equation.
I'll be honest. I bought games for the Switch.
You don't wipe your with it. I
bought games for the Switch that I was really excited.
Nintendo will sell that add-on. Don't worry.
I bought games for the Switch that I was really excited to play on a Switch on portable. I just haven't got around to.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like I've got dual Final Fantasy 7 and 8 for the Switch, which
nice,
is like
man.
That's time, though, dude, isn't it? That's a long
and I'm
time.
like, I'm gonna come to that, you know. But I got Witcher 3.
Yeah.
I wasn't a big Witcher fan. I borrowed Witcher 2 off of Gary back in the day. I just couldn't get into the combat. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I felt some. I knew I was the problem.
That's a gamer thing. That's a gamer thing, though. Of like, it's me. I just can't fucking wrap my head around it.
I just wasn't at that stage. But then I went off and I played a bunch of other games. And then like somebody bought me Witcher 3, and at first I was kind of like disappointed because it wasn't a game that I would have put on my top list.
Yeah.
But they got it for me Christmas, and they said, look, we really hope that you enjoy this as much as we did. And I was like, all right, I'll give it a try. Played Dark Souls, and, you know, you play all these different games, you're like, I've got to get on top of the combat. And my God, man, I'm gonna say it now, that Baron fucked me off. Like, bigger than fucking Terrifier 2. The Baron fucked me off.
I've been listening because over the last few weeks I've been asking you about this story because I'm like, it's a really interesting story. And I'm like, okay, I'm just like,
what? Right. So, I had to go to the... So, I'd gone to the swamp and I'd met up with Anna, who was working with these evil witches that are supposed to be, like, super powerful. They've been around for fucking centuries. And, obviously, the cool thing about Witcher story, if you've never played it, it's got such a storyline that interweaves that you don't realize that you're doing something until it comes up later on, and you're like, oh, I remember that.
Like it calls back.
Yeah, and it's like got dialogue trees that go all over the place. It's absolutely outstanding game. And so I'd met this woman. I thought I'd helped her. I actually made the situation a lot worse. I went off. I met her husband. Her husband was a violent drunk, so I tried to be the mediator. He's like, dude, can you help us go and find my wife and my daughter? I'm like, all right. So I go and find his daughter, and his daughter doesn't want anything to do with him.
I played way too much Red Dead Redemption 2 to fall for this shit again.
Yeah. So then...
I'm getting knocked out, I'm going to lose all my shit.
I managed to kind of convince the daughter and the Baron and get involved as well that we would go back to the swamp and we would try to help the wife. And when we got back to the swamp, she'd been cursed and turned into a monster, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, fuck. And you had to pick one of these dolls to kind of lift the curse. So I'm like, hey, fucking... You know, the internet's out there now. I got walkthrough guides. I'm going to find the fucking best option. So it's like, oh, you want to pick that doll to turn her back human? I'm like, okay. So I picked it. And then they're like, oh, yeah, she's like proper cursed. She's human, but she's still going to fucking die.
Blumhouse are making 3 series movies about this doll.
I'm like, you what? So the Baron's like, look, I'm sorry to his wife. And I was just like, oh, wow, at least he had the time to say sorry to his wife and have this last little moment. And fucking she dies, and he turns to me and he goes, Witcher, I'll be at Crow's Perch if you want to come and get your reward. And I'm like, all right, I'm getting paid. I wonder if you want to play a game of Gwent. I
thought you played before.
Man, that motherfucker wanted to play Hangman, and he won. I got there, and he's hanging from this fucking rope. The thing that gets me is, right, you know what these games are like? Nothing changes. So now, whenever I go back there, that motherfucker gonna still be there.
Oh yeah,
just hanging.
Like, all I can see is you going through this really emotional storyline, and you're just sort of like, man, well, gotta go. Finish my shit. Time to go to work.
There are so many ways that storyline can play out.
Yeah.
That wasn't the way my first playthrough went.
Oh, how did yours go?
You can literally you can keep him alive. You can keep them alive, but it's all based on other decisions you made that you didn't know were going to impact that story.
The town can get destroyed and the kids can get killed. So I'd save the kids and save the town, but lost the Baron and the wife. And I'm like, so there really is no good way out of this. There's going to be a bad way, which, like we said,
it depends on which way you want to go.
I'm really loving playing The Witcher as Geralt, but my Geralt.
Yeah, that's it. Everyone's Geralt slightly different.
Geralt is the same.
That's the pull of RPGs, right?
It's such a wonderful game. So yeah, for me at the moment, that's one of my big honourable mentions. Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome.
Andy, do you want to go through your honourable mentions?
Yeah, sure, man. I've actually separated these into categories, and we will run through them really fast.
Very good.
So I said to the guys, I've got honourable mentions, and then I have got another list which is most honourable mentions.
Which one's the most?
Well, the most is like kind of this any of these could have probably crept into my top 10 if I really thought about it. But so my
I might go watch
mentions,
Avatar 2 while he goes through his list.
Yeah. Well, dude, we said this earlier. I realised like 22 was actually a really good year for entertainment, but also I was thinking about it in the break, is that it's kind of that year where a lot of stuff that was put off
delayed.
because of Maverick is a great, probably the most prominent example, isn't it? Where it's like, that was fucking ready forever.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot. So series, Archer season 13 was fun. What We Do in the Shadows season 4. The first half of Bel Air, because it kind of tanked off. Same with Pam and Tommy. Really enjoyed the start. Tanked off at the end. I just throw all the MCU series in there because...
Yeah.
At one point, I enjoyed them all. Kenobi. Really enjoyed Kenobi. Watched that while I was on holiday in Turkey, really just good, loving life. Masters of the Universe Revolutions Part 2. So Series 1, but Part 2 is released this year. I enjoyed big old feral He-Man. I was down with a pound on that one.
I love that He-Man series.
Woody, really enjoyed it. Cabinet of Curiosities was hit and miss, but there was more hits than misses. So I was like, yeah, that's fine. But it would be hard to put an anthology for me into a top 10 because there were still
so many different directors and
absolutely. Dahmer as well was a really good series. Films, All Quiet on the Western Front.
Oh God, yes.
Do you know what? Every time someone says watch this movie about World War One or Two, my instant reaction is always, oh, fucking, we've had enough. I don't need to watch another one. And now and again, one comes along that is like, 1917 was probably the last one I watched that I really was like, man, I really enjoyed that fucking movie.
Yeah.
All Quiet on Western Front. It's on Netflix. You've already paid for it. Go watch it. Clear 3 hours.
Yeah.
Violent Night. Who the fuck knew this one was coming out? Right? Oh my god. Die Hard, like, meets fucking Santa. David Harbour absolutely rocking it as this Norse fucking Santa. Fantastic. Loved it. Absolutely goes into my Christmas viewing every year.
Weirdly enough, after watching that, I really wanted to see if Hellboy was still bad. It is.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. Barbarian. I think we talked about it earlier. That might have been before the podcast, actually. But Barbarian was my favourite horror movie of the year. I loved it. It was the perfect example of a don't know anything before you go in. Yeah. Wonderful. Yeah. Again, all the MCU films, the ones that I saw, I enjoyed to a point. Yeah. We're definitely since Endgame, we're definitely doing this. But I still enjoy them. Clerks 3, we talked about it on the last podcast. Really enjoyed that. Terrifier 2 was enjoyable. Hellraiser. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the remake of Hellraiser, or the continuation of Hellraiser. I'm looking forward to more to come from that one. Prey.
Yes, yeah.
Troll on Netflix.
That was good. That was good.
Godzilla, the remake. Feed Me. I don't know if anyone saw that. It's kind of like based on the story of like the so you remember like the German cannibal who wanted to pay someone or get someone's agreement to eat them and stuff? Right. Similar kind of story. Fucking weird as hell. If you liked Greasy Strangler, I know there's 2 or 3 of you out there. If you enjoyed that movie, to me, it had a very similar vibe to the way it was. It's fucking surreal. Black Phone. Fucking I'm looking forward to a fucking sequel or whatever they do with that because I really dug Ethan Hawke in that movie. Beast, because that was 90 minutes of dumb fun with a great looking CGI lion.
I've still not seen that
yet. Fucking stupid. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
See How They Run. I watched that last night actually. Sam Rockwell, little murder mystery. Death on the Nile I'll throw in as well, which was fine. Mostly around Kenneth Branagh's performance for Death on the Nile because it was really kind of off-putting the fact that you're like, you ain't in fucking Egypt. This whole thing is on green screen, but the performance is good and I enjoyed it for that. Games, Modern Warfare 2, like, I know it's kind of almost cliche to say it, but fucking hell is that thing tight. That is a great online game. I've smashed 7 shades of shit out of it and I'm still playing it. When I go home tonight,
you're loading it up.
I'll be playing it.
Fair.
Metal Hellsinger was fun. Okay. So that first-person rhythm action game. I love metal music. This was a good thing.
Was it actually good? Because I looked at it, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to.
It was fun. I didn't finish it, but it was fun to play for a little bit. But it was like, it wasn't quite... I bet you there's some amazing playthroughs to watch.
The rhythm is...
So, and again, I'll say, totally my fault as a gamer for not quite getting it, but I bet if you watch some perfect playthroughs, it looks fucking amazing.
Dylan was really enjoying it, but I knew that the only reason you would ever continue playing a game like that, and that's why Gary probably wouldn't actually pick it up, is that you had to be in that mood to listen to the music, play the rhythm, and go around. Because once you get hit,
Guitar Hero, right? You got to perfect it. It's about
once you
perfecting
get hit, you lose your combo. And I know from playing games like that's where the frustration can set in, because now you've got to restart. And if you're not already wanting that from the start, you're not going to want to do it 3 or 4 times after getting hit.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Ninja Turtles Shredder Revenge.
Oh, fuck yes.
Fucking great.
Fuck yes. I got that for the Switch as well.
High on Life, which is the first person shooter with the guys who did Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
It's not like the Rick and Morty universe as such.
But it's the voices you recognise.
Mate, you've got fucking Morty's voice is coming out of your gun.
Right.
That's awesome. So that was fun. And then just other ones. I watched the NFL season this year, which is great. I've been meaning to get back into it for ages, so that was great.
Nice.
Got knocked out of the playoffs the other week. Not great, but I'll be finishing this playoffs this week. Click This Podcast, which is the Kevin Nash podcast, which has been pretty excellent this year. Some hard hitting stuff, because unfortunately his son passed away. And it's almost become like a welfare check every week now to go on to see it.
I was going to speak to you about this. I think he should get Jay Briscoe's brother on there.
Yeah, they haven't done guests yet, but they've talked about that. Absolutely, yeah.
Because that's so close. I think it would be a hell of
or at least just have a conversation with him in the so that he's got that support. Your Mama's House podcast and Two Bears One Cave. I love that group of comedians. I'm a huge fan of stand-up comedy. Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer. I think that comedians like that are kind of they should be our most protected natural resource, because it is hard to have the balls to talk
as a comedian these days.
To talk honestly about stuff that people don't want to talk. That's a tough job.
People don't want to fucking listen.
They don't. So I'll also throw in.
Makes it so funny to talk about it.
Yeah, Bill Burr live at the Red Rock was great, because that was like, coming off of COVID into that one. I got to take Jessica to go see Ghost this year. That was awesome.
Wow.
And for entertainment value, I'll also throw out the Johnny Depp trial.
It
was fun to watch.
It's the most public Hollywood embarrassment.
It was fucking fun to watch.
In a weird way, so was the invasion of Ukraine. Yeah, so you said praise comedians.
Yeah, it's true. And then the last, my most honourable mentions. This is anything that I really enjoyed. I am going to throw a Glass Onion in there because I did really enjoy it. Maverick. Really enjoyed it.
That's an honourable mention.
It's the most honourable. It floated in and out. Yeah, this is my most. It floated in and out.
All right.
Werewolf by Night was really good. I really enjoyed it. His
honourable mentions. That's why I did a list of 5.
Well, it's the only time we get a chance to talk if you do that.
You did a list of 10 plus 30 other ones.
I'd have been fucking done by now. Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special. I fucking loved it.
That was so fun.
Kevin Bacon. Absolutely brilliant. Kevin Bacon just rocked it. Amazing soundtrack.
Yeah.
Cobra Kai season 5. Because they just keep going.
It didn't make it on my best of this year either. It's good.
It's close, but it didn't quite. But it's still good. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to 6. Andor. Fucking hell. Star Wars for grown-ups. It's fucking great. You could take the Star Wars out of that, and it would just be a great fucking series. It could so easily be an interesting World War II thing with Nazis.
They should have just named him Carl Katarn.
I'm glad that the second season is going to basically just wraps up to Rogue One.
Yes,
great. And then just the last honorable mention. This was going to be my number 1, and then I decided I wanted to do a top 10 of just traditional media, but was Clash at the Castle, getting to go see WWE live in fucking thing. And I'll also throw in the overall improvement to the WWE product this year. They're coming back to London O2 to do Money in the Bank. We found out about that, me and the group of guys in work, and within 15 minutes we all had tickets, so we're going to see that this year. I can't fucking wait. But having 60,000 WWE fans just rocking a stadium.
That energy. Unreal. Nice.
I'm done. Sorry, I'm done now.
That was some great honourable mentions. Year. All right, so my honourable mentions. These are movies. My honourable mentions movies. The Menu, Smile.
I want to watch that. Yeah.
Prey, Terrifier 2.
Fuck you, cunts.
That's actually the tagline to Terrifier 3. Terrifier 3, fuck you,
Don't
cunts.
get me fucking started. I'm fucking... Fuck you all.
Look, you did this before.
I know. That's why I'm not doing it now.
All Quiet on the Western Front, Bullet Train, Men, Everywhere, Everywhere, All at Once, Violent Night, Hellraiser, Titanic 666.
Sorry.
It's fine that you coughed over that one. It's an,
that wasn't like an indictment. I was just like, I'm coming off a code. Sorry. Fuck your shit.
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Barbarian, Mad God, and The Black Phone. Mad God is the only one out of all of my movie ones that I actually want to talk about a little more, because I was convinced. I was like, Mad God is going on my top 10 no matter what. Like Phil Tippett, like a master of his craft, an absolute icon in terms of the behind the scenes stuff for the special effects. Of the movies that he's worked on in his life are outstanding, like a pioneer. And I was always heartbroken when I saw the interviews with him, like on the set of Jurassic Park, where he's doing the stop motion, he's doing the puppetry, he's making these dinosaurs for Spielberg, and Spielberg comes in and goes, Phil, we're letting you go. We're replacing you with computers. And we're going to CGI the T-Rex, and we're going to CGI the Velociraptor, and we don't need your, and they obviously they kept him like on, because like Phil fucking Tim, you don't do that to him.
Yeah.
But like ever since then,
do you think at one point they're like, if you think that's bad, wait until it's locusts,
right? And so like it's so different. And so for like 20 years, Phil Tippett's like, fuck, I'll fucking show you. Yeah. I will show you. And it's taken him 20 years to make this film. He's been doing a little bit of it at a time, because it's all stop motion. It's all old school. But like you mentioned, it's like a Tool video. Yeah. There's no script, no real dialogue. It's just an odyssey in a weird alien landscape of the likes of which you don't know. It's so alien and foreign a concept.
And that's why I'm still wild. Desperate to watch it, because out of every other film that came out last year, that was probably the most unique.
Yeah.
Entertainment for me. And I know, like,
it's hard to watch, yeah.
I know a lot of people get fucking moody at me for how I can rant sometimes about certain shit, but you have to understand, I've seen so much shit in 40 years that the patterns and the repetition comes along so many times. It's like people are blind to going, oh, that's amazing, and I'm like, well, how is that any different from the film that it was? That's absolutely like 5 years ago, and yet you didn't watch that film. Where Mad God came along, and I'm like, man, I ain't seen anything like this since the 80s.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anybody even try to fucking put something else out like this. And it came out, it got praise, and then it just went under the radar again.
Of course, yeah, because it's cult, it's gonna exist in that world where only those that really, want to.
I haven't seen it. I do need to.
I will say though, even I will say, because I was fascinated by it. I had to do it in 2 parts, because I was like, I got like 45 minutes in, and I was like, I feel like I've been watching this for 3 hours.
It does feel like that.
It does.
You just have nothing to grasp onto to keep going.
It's because you are left with your own imagination and your own interpretation. So but Mad God is the one I wanted to talk about, because I thought it was going to be on my list, but eventually it did get bumped down. TV honourable mentions. From.
Come on, you're fucking dragging on.
From season 1. We talked about season 2 in the news. From Moon Knight season 1, Pam and Tommy, Euphoria season 2, The Walking Dead season 11, Ozark season 4, Rick and Morty season 5, The Sandman season 1, Stranger Things season 4, For All Mankind season 3. For All Mankind season 2 was my absolute best of last year.
That was that one, didn't it?
Yeah, season 2 was outstanding. I still cherish those characters and those moments. Phenomenal. Season 3 was still solid, still great, but there were some amazing shows this year, so it ends up being an honorable mention. Can't wait for season 4. The Boys season 3, Star Trek Strange New Worlds, What We Do in the Shadows season 4,
Fuck yeah.
Barry season 3, Wednesday, and Severance. All of my honorable mentions for TV shows. For games, The Quarry, Total War Warhammer 3, and Scorn. In my top 10, I have 3 TV shows, 3 games, and 4 movies.
This is honestly why I have a top 5 as well, because I cannot watch as much as you guys can in your time.
Well, it's not bad for a whole year.
You need to work from home.
Even then, I couldn't. I've honestly got to find whatever it is that I'm about to watch entertaining before I watch it, not just go, oh, it's fresh out.
Oh, I'd like to try stuff. Yeah, I always like to try new shows as well.
Yeah, I like that. I am, but
I caught up with so much on that holiday.
It's still got to grasp me.
I just had though.
Yeah,
that's what I found.
Like that's what I mean. So many films come out on Netflix and TV shows come out that I look at it, and unless my brain goes, like The Pale Blue Eye, I have to watch that over everything else. And there's a fucking shit ton of shit I'm watching it over.
Alrighty, so Andy, should we do our first top fives or bottom fives?
You do your fives.
You want to start?
I'll start. Yep, I'll start. My number 10. It's a TV series, Game of Thrones. I never thought Game of Thrones would ever appear in my top 10 best
still
of.
Reeling from the rant from the last
a few
season
years
of the
ago.
It's still rattling.
House of Dragon season 1 was a masterpiece in writing, special effects, production quality. It had it all. It didn't drop the ball once. It just kept it going to the moment that when the season finished, I was like, please tell me you're going to do more. I need to see this story in its entirety now. It didn't brilliant.
Drag on?
It dragged on perfectly.
I'm not going to let you out on if you made that
It dragged on spectacularly. Even though there was a changing of the cast because of the time jumps, and I kind of really latched onto some of these actresses, but so as they were shuffled out for new ones to come in, I was like, ugh. But they all portrayed the same character really, really well. Awesome. Phenomenal.
I will give it a go because it's so detached from, and I've heard so much good stuff.
It is
so
detached.
I'll absolutely give it a go. It's just, again, because it was like a Game of Thrones thing, it just wasn't on my top list. That's
sure. Yeah. Cool. Your number 10?
My number 10 is a great little movie about the multiverse and how much we love all the multiverses. And it's called Everything Everywhere All at Once.
It was in my honourable mentions.
It's a phenomenal film. It's on. I think you can watch it on Amazon Prime. Absolutely worth your time. Michelle Yeoh. I'm probably mispronouncing all these names, by the way.
Yeah.
K-Hugh Kwan. Short round. For fuck's sake, he's back, baby. Jamie Lee Curtis in her best performance of the year, no doubt.
Yes.
And James Hong as well. Fucking low pans in it. I mean, can you fuck with it?
Yeah, fuck with low pans.
It is a visual treat to say the least. It's about a wife and mother who's basically being audited by the IRS, who runs a little laundrette, and finds herself having to now. And I don't want to spoil too much because it's worth watching. Certainly, you have definitely got to watch it. She finds that she's given the ability to access all different versions of herself in the multiverse at the same time by performing very strange tasks, and she may be fortunate enough to jump into the body of someone who's a kung fu master. She may go to the dimension where you've got hot dogs for fingers. Who knows? A guy jumps on a dildo very violently. It's fucking hilarious. I loved it from start to finish.
Yeah,
it's amazing. And look, don't get me wrong, I really did enjoy Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
Well, I thought everything was better.
But oh my god, it was like that's how better. You fucking do it. Like at least the multiverse element of it.
Yeah, the multiverse element.
Absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, your number 9.
My number 9. It's my first
cheated.
film on the list.
Cheated.
I have cheated. I have cheated.
Yeah,
now, okay.
Just a cheat. Yeah.
Okay, if I have to remove one, then it's easy. It's Pearl. Pearl was phenomenal. Mia Goth.
No, I think this goes in as 2 because they both came out at the same time.
Exactly. I mean, Pearl was born out of X. Like, didn't even. It wasn't planned. It just happened. And 9 months later, out comes Pearl, and it's like within the first 10 minutes, Pearl is having sex with a scarecrow, and you're like,
seen it on Malcolm in Middle. It's not for kids.
I'm like, what is this character? Who is this character? How is she going to get from here to where she is in X? And it's such a character study. It's almost like Psycho, like Norman Bates. Like, you've got this character that's kind of quirky, but kind of innocent, and she's got her dreams and aspirations, but when they get taken away from her, the monster that's lurking underneath this, who will kill to get what she wants. But her performance, her monologue, the camera work, it's not fancy. It's very simplistic, and it just lets Mia Goth do her thing, right up until the end credits, where I'm like, please cut, end, just end. And the camera's like, nah, we're gonna make you uncomfortable. You stay here and you experience this, and it's gripping from start to finish, and I can't wait for Maxine. So yeah,
I'm going to binge all
and
3
Pearl.
of them. I was going to make a point of watching these because I kept getting to literally for the podcast and for the top 10, and then I kind of was like, I know the third one, so I'm just going to binge them all. But I can't wait. I remember, I think we watched the trailer for X when it first dropped, and we were all like, what the fuck? This is awesome.
I wasn't too fussed by X. I was like, it was a fine homage to Texas Chainsaw. Kids making porno, get killed.
And fun enough, going back to obviously our argument before about that stupid ass clown movie, is that these movies didn't make as much money and yet are substantially better. And will do better, especially when they get their third one coming out. The character that they have brought out in these 3 movies it makes Art the Clown just look like a joke.
I think you're going to hate how much money Terrifier 3 fuck you cunts is
No, I won't. But my point being is like as Gary said, the character.
Like I said, I streamed the second one. If they call it fuck you cunts, I'm giving them money.
So those 2 movies are on this list. Terrifier didn't even get onto his mentions.
Terrifier.
That's what I'm saying. Those two movies.
The art clearly did. The clown touch you.
Those 2 movies. What I'm saying is a shame that those movies didn't make as much money because they seem to be superior.
You know when you get the review stamps on the posters, I want them to put on the third one that stupid ass clown movie.
yes, that stupid ass clown movie.
Andy, you're number 8.
Oh God, Terrifier 2. No, it's my number 9. Sorry, my number 9 is a game, and it's my game of the year. I think I could have predicted this one. Yeah,
is it God of War?
It's God of War, Ragnarok. Yeah, it's. I mean, and funnily enough, the only reason that this is not higher on the list, and this isn't really a criticism as such, it's just fact, is that I was just hoping for a bit more of a next gen experience from playing it on the PS5. And I think we talked about it last time when I was playing it. Is it's very much like if you've played God of War 2018 on the PS4. I personally didn't see a huge jump in gameplay. I mean, it's on both platforms, and whenever they release a platform that's cross generation, you're not going to see a huge amount of change. That is a minor complaint to how wonderful, as expected. It's kind of like you play it going like, of course it's like this because this is what they do. The acting is
7th one in the series. They have to be as good now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's like it's kind of like all you got to do is what you did last time.
Yeah,
and you're good.
Bigger and badder. Yeah.
So it's a phenomenal story. I really enjoyed it. It's left open to continue as you knew it would be. Does something that not a lot of games get away with, which is you play that whole. I don't think there's a point in 2018 where you deviate from playing as Kratos. I can't think of it. I might be wrong, but I don't think there is. In this one, they really roll the dice and they go, we're gonna let you play with another character now, and they do it kind of randomly when you're not expecting it, and multiple times, and it works. It's exciting, it's fun. There's phenomenal set pieces. There's bosses that work with him where you're like, this only works with this character.
Yeah.
You get to mix up because obviously it's a buddy system, which is really well done. Where you're playing as Kratos, you got his son Atreus. It's not like back in the day, if you growing up, I tell you what, having flashbacks to fucking GoldenEye. Right. Anytime you're like, yeah, it's you, but you got an AI partner, you're like, oh, this bitch is gonna die 20 fucking times. That doesn't happen in these games, which is great. So getting to switch out to different AI partners as well is really well done. So if you like 2018, you've probably already played it. If you haven't, try the fucking series, man. It's amazing. Absolutely phenomenal. Looks incredible. Smooth as butter. It deserves all the awards that it's getting. Absolutely brilliant.
Nice. Okay, my number 8. My first game on the list as well. Evil Dead the game. I don't think it's really much of a surprise it got onto this list. Maybe not because of the quality, like there are better games than this, but it's the license, and it is all encompassing.
The respect.
Absolutely, like
treated with
it is a love letter to Evil Dead fans. Yeah. Now it's not the perfect game. It is still needing patches. It's still filled with bugs and glitches.
I would argue that,
no, it's full of glitches still. It needs patches.
But all games
we don't need no
do
stinking
that.
patches.
But for a game that we got for as cheap as it was,
it wasn't a fully price. Yeah, it's £30 at launch.
And the fact that, and I'm not trying to offend anybody, and don't take this personally, but it was working day one, and it wasn't in a beta. It actually just kept going until they went, look, we're just going to patch this. And you and I have, and it's on my list, so I'll be fucking talking about it again when it comes to my list. You and I have been playing this motherfucking game to death. Yeah. And you have to learn It's not just you have that with a lot of games where you have to you got
it's
that
Dead by
learning curve.
Daylight all over again in terms of that, like, you understand the basics,
co-op or die, right?
but all of the nuances,
co-op or die, mate.
all of the nuances to it.
We don't talk to people, but it's like today. I had a game today where literally I flashed my torch to somebody flashed their torch back. We knew what we were talking about.
That's when you have to come over to the car window to watch, right? Is it 2 flashes? No, that's someone else. That's someone else. Sorry.
So yeah, Evil Dead the game. The fact that they got in the voice actors from Ash vs Evil Dead, the fact that they got the voice actors in from the original Evil Dead, the fact that they're still announcing new content, which is coming next month. They haven't quite announced second season pass yet, but I can only hope that we get content from Evil Dead Rise, that we get more characters, more demons, more maps, and that they fine tune the balancing. And yeah, it's like, if you're a fan of Evil Dead and you like the Dead by Daylight style games where you get to fight back, easily sink so many hours into Evil Dead the game.
It's a great example, though, of the same reason that has made Last of Us Episode 1 so good for people, is it's like, just show us the thing, look like the thing.
Yeah.
Like you said, you got all the voices back, you got all the sounds back. It's like, I mean, yeah.
Do you know, for me, and like I said, I'll go bring it up in mine again, but it's the little things that I do love about the game.
Yeah.
So, for example, you're running along, it's darker woods, you're watching your fear meter, you're trying to keep it low because the evil hasn't found you just yet, and if you get scared, you'll appear on their radar.
Yeah.
So you're running up to lights, and you're having to use the lights to lower your meter.
Your fear, yeah.
Which is great. But what's really cool is you can just run in the dark, but if you turn your flashlight on, items will appear in the dark. They're not normally there until you turn your flashlight on, and then you.
So you can't just rely on like no, I don't need to turn my light on. I know that's going to be here.
Everything's RNG.
Yeah,
I had a game yesterday, Gary. Right, because I said to you, didn't I was going to start playing as the evil because it was quicker for me to make points that way. in games. So I had 3 games as the evil yesterday. I did that idea that I said to you. I was on a map with the Nobi cabin. I just left the team alone.
Yeah.
I went straight to the Nobi cabin. I trapped everything. I drove around in the little car around the cabin, just sitting there having a little bit of a laugh. Team won. I didn't give a fuck because they were all prestige. The next game I played, or the third game I played, Linda's going off in my ear constantly. Why are these humans still alive?
Why do they still have hands?
Like, for fuck's sake, Linda, get off my fucking mic, right?
Will she not leave you alone while you're playing? I mean, you not like...
Man, it was...
Babe, go make a cup
got in a game, and then I quickly noticed that there were only 3 people in the game. I'm like, oh, somebody's left.
Yeah.
There was a level 4 Henry in there. Level 4 Prestige Henry.
Yeah.
He was my target. He killed his team.
Oh,
I won.
you possessed him.
I possessed him and beat the fuck out of him.
Being evil, so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, really. I mean, I'm still not done playing Evil Dead. I'm probably going to play it most of this year as well.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Andy, your number 8?
My number 8 is a movie that I discovered on Netflix. I was day drinking, which is probably the reason that I decided to watch this despite it being 3 hours long. And it's called RRR, which stands for Rise, Roar, Revolt. And it is an Indian cinematic movie.
Okay.
I was told it's not Bollywood. There's a difference. Mate, I cannot fucking tell you how good this film is.
Mate, I told you we should be doing Indian movies.
Dude, this is a huge budget Indian movie. I think it's sort of like, 20, 30 plus million dollars, not rupees. But it's insane. This is so much fun, and not just because I was day drinking. It's a movie that's set in sort of like 1920s India, so it's under British rule. You will get a lot of like white guilt in this fucker as well. Oh my god! Ray Stevenson plays the main sort of like bad guy in it, if you like.
Who's he? Sorry.
Ray Stevenson. Oh my god!
He did the song, "Mess Around." He was the blind piano player.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm trying to think of something else he's in now, and I can't. So you're gonna have to just go with that. But it is actually based on a couple of sort of like historical characters in Indian sort of like folklore, I guess, and they've
like Gandhi,
turned them into it's Gandhi, but he's turned into a superhero basically. So you've got the British, they take this girl from a village because they like the way she does like those henna tattoos and stuff and the way she sings, and so you've got one guy who's sent from the village to go and rescue her. Then on the other side you have another character who's actually in the conscripted British military, who's sent to infiltrate them to sort of catch him, and they actually end up kind of becoming friends and working together. The action is so fucking over the top. It's amazing. There is a dance-off scene, like, you know, a Bollywood-style dance-off scene in the British concert where I had to stop and call the fucking kid. And I was like, Jessica, you gotta come down here, they're dancing! And she ended up watching it. And
so what's it called again?
It's called RRR, like
okay.
Triple R, but it stands for Rise, Roar, Revolt, which I had to sort of look at. They kind of like bookmark the axe with it.
Righto.
There's a fucking scene in it. It's great because at the start there comes up with a disclaimer saying something like, you know, no animals are hurt in this. All tigers, leopards, blah blah blah, are all CGI. And to be fair, the CGI is good, but you're like, yeah, thanks. I could have worked that out for myself. Shit. Like, you know? But there's like this bit with an attack where the motherfucker just drives through like a... I mean, there's one scene at the start where when you're introduced to the other sort of protagonist, he just fights India.
Like, they're outside the country itself.
Like, fucking everyone, like all of them. Dude, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating when I say that. He literally, the entire population is outside. Dude, it was amazing. He's outside the gates of, like, you know, a British thing, and they're all like, fuck you. And one bloke like throws a stone or something, and his commander's like, get that dude. He's like, not a problem. Fucking jumps the fence, goes after him. It's amazing. But then you have a scene in the middle of it where they like, the dude's trying to like rescue him, the guy from the jungle, and he drives like this truck through into this big thing, flips the truck, fucking 20 tigers pour out of it and start fucking everyone up. And I'm watching it and I'm like, dude, we're halfway through this movie. That's not even the finale. Like,
but this is it. I've seen clips like that in some of these films where, like,
it's fucking great.
Like, I got a clip sent to me like a year ago or something. Like the Indian Terminator movie they made, where like there's a clip where he kind of jumps out of a car and he pulls out all these fucking guns and shoots like 1,000
it's so over the top. I mean, I used to watch these movies like
over the top and stupid.
Do you remember like on Channel 4 they used to have them in the morning, Sunday mornings they'd have them on, and it'd be like, you know, fucking dudes would be firing arrows at like 1,000 miles an hour, and like, you know, like he'd shoot one arrow from his bow, but like 20 of them and fucking fly. Like, how do you do that?
Editing.
Like, it's that. It's obviously that very specific Indian style, but dude, I totally would never have thought, like, if you'd have said to me that would be something you'd enjoy, I'd be like, yeah, okay.
Man, like I said, I saw the trailer for that because there's like a whole section on Netflix that does Bollywood movies, and that was where I saw the trailer when I was scanning for stuff. And I was like, you know what? Like, I get over there, it's kind of like Asian cinema, isn't it? Like, they release their films in their country and they make a shit ton of money, but then they have real trouble trying to stick it over in international waters.
But some of them eventually do, yeah.
But when you do actually sit down and watch it, like with Andy sat there with a couple of drinks in his hand, like, fuck Dark Knight, I'm watching this.
It was awesome. It was great. Even the kid came down and started watching it for ages. I was like, and I was almost willing to fucking restart. If I wasn't like 40 minutes in, I'd have restarted it. Like, you know, I was like, this is fucking great. Yeah, highly recommended. Absolutely brilliant. Turn, you know, just if you're thinking like,
it's also it's the first one on all of your mentions today. I have no idea what it was.
No.
All right, my number 7.
Yes.
Second film on my list, Top Gun Maverick. I think I knew from the minute I walked out of the cinema. Yeah, it's just like, that was worth waiting for. It was worth delaying until a theatrical release. When the music hits in right at the get-go, when they recreate the intro to Top Gun, but just 4K. That cinematography, those aircraft carriers. I'm not, it's military porn to an extent.
Yeah.
But what it was backed up with was great acting, great characters, respect. Passing its respects on to Val Kilmer, who's unable to really perform or act anymore.
That was heartbreaking.
It really was.
Yeah, you still not watched this documentary, have you?
No.
Yeah, the Val documentary, exactly. And so the action scenes, the adrenaline, the music, the tension, the effects, really, really good. It really was like just an honest, pure, like, action movie.
Yeah.
It took itself seriously, but it pulled it off. Like, I didn't think it would be that good, but it really was.
Bro. Like,
well, I mean, yeah, I've always enjoyed Tom Cruise. I don't like the man that much.
Managed to run in a film about planes. Yeah. Managed to run, didn't he?
But
it's like one hell of a stuntman.
But it's like people say, "Oh, The Mummy is a terrible movie."
It was.
It is.
It's
I watched it the other day. It is terrible.
It is not. It is not. It is better than fucking Terrifier 2. That's for fucking sure. But what I'm saying is that Tom Cruise, in all of his years, when he goes onto a set, he's trying to do the best job he can with
Not
the
arguing
show.
that.
So when I heard that they were making a sequel to Maverick, I was like, unless they bring Tom Cruise back. As soon as I saw him in there, I'm like, okay, this movie's going to be a bit of a success because I know that he's going to be the stand-up thing. And then I looked at Miles Teller's fucking shitty-ass fucking mustache, and I was like, oh, that's Goose's son, I guess.
That mustache is better than Terrifier 2.
Yeah, just saying.
Do you know, I really enjoyed Maverick, don't get me wrong. The only thing that kind of kept it out of my top 10, because I agree with everything you said, it was great. It was that is how sort of legacy sequels should be done as well. The only thing I was like, they didn't get, what's her name back, the love interest from the first
Kelly
one.
McGillis.
So I'm kind of like, do you know what? We really didn't need this love story.
Yeah, Jennifer Connelly, I think, was shoehorned in.
I know that they did the whole, like, fucking, she's the other Admiral's daughter. It's like, no one cares.
No one cares.
The bit that caught me off guard, I gotta admit, that did take me out of it a little bit. Because again, loved it. I was like, okay, we don't really need this fucking this romantic act, especially when you've got 60 hours of unused footage in the plane. Put more of that shit in.
Right.
But the bit that got me, phenomenal audio work from start
Sound
to
design,
finish, with the exception of one moment. And I'm sat there going, that is not Miles Teller singing Great Balls of Fire.
Oh, right.
And they did a better job making John Travolta's voice come out of Nicolas Cage in Face Off than they did that voice coming out of Miles Teller. What the fuck? And what's annoying is that is the trailer moment, or the film moment that I saw, the first thing I saw of the movie that made me go, oh Jesus,
no.
fuck, I'm not watching that. Thankfully,
damn.
I got it on 4K for Christmas. I sat down and watched it. I really enjoyed it. But there were a couple of moments where I was like, oh, that and the plan was fucking stupid.
Well, yeah.
I've never seen a group of any members of the services so anxious to die. When they explain the plan, I want to be part of that plan. I'm like, really? They basically just told you you're fucked.
Yeah, right.
There's no fucking way.
Yeah, but luckily we got Tom Cruise with us.
No, but he wasn't originally flying in that mission.
No.
Was he?
Yeah, true.
And then when they start doing the simulations, they're not even close. I'm like, you're all gonna fucking
And they're
die.
like,
How
it
are we
can't
not
even be done.
rethinking this fucking plan? So crazy.
Yeah, need
However,
a Maverick.
Visually incredible. And yeah, how are we going to rethink this plan? Shove Maverick into it.
Yeah.
Because he can eject.
Get Maverick to do it.
Because he can eject at Mach 10. Not a drama.
That was Tom Cruise doing it for real.
He probably did, yeah. Not doing it at Mach 7 like a pussy.
It's like the future of Botox, you know? You just eject at Mach 10.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh, someone Disney DA's you. Nope.
Okay, that was my number 7, Andy.
My number 7 is also a film, and it's The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Oh, Nick Cage on the list.
We constantly talk about Nick Cage going full Nick Cage.
Yeah.
Nick Cage went full Nick Cage in this movie. It was brilliant. I really enjoyed this flick. I think it's always hard when you go, so-and-so is playing themselves. Because there's a lot of ego that Nick Cage put to one side to play this version of Nick Cage.
Yes.
Pedro
So
Pascal,
good.
that's absolutely my favourite Pedro Pascal performance as well.
Yeah.
Loved him in it.
Yeah.
It's basically, if you don't know, it's Nick Cage playing himself, being a sort of like slightly washed up version of himself, where it's like, he's considering leaving acting. He's considering, I need one big part to get me back in or whatever. He's got an estranged relationship with his daughter. Excuse me. I'm coming off the flu, sorry. And he's offered something like ridiculous, like $1 million just to go to this island with like a mega fan who's played with Pedro Pascal. But when he gets there, he turns out that the CIA are investigating Pedro Pascal's character as like a big drug lord, and they see Nick Cage and naturally recruit him as a spy for the CIA. If that doesn't say the fucking movie, I don't know what will. Oh, it's so much fun. It's honestly... It really is like after watching that, I can't wait to see him as Dracula anyway.
Right, yes. He's really hamming that up.
Absolutely loved it. But also, like, visually, it's a great looking film.
Yeah.
It's a really good sort of like tight script, I thought. And the way that they transition through it and pace through it is really interesting. Considering you're really focused on Nick Cage as himself, Pedro Pascal, it really holds his own in a movie where he could probably have been really easily overshadowed.
Yeah,
You know what
absolutely.
I mean?
It was a good double act.
It really was. And I was like, I want to see these two in something else together.
Yeah.
Can we get Nick Cage into The Last of Us? Because I'd be cool with that. Fucking make up fuck it, be Nick Cage in it. That'd be fine. But I think again, Amazon Prime or Netflix, fucking go watch it. It's amazing.
Nice. All right, my number 6 is a film, and it's The Northman. It's my runner-up, because I've got one more film that's higher. That is my film of the year, but The Northman was just an absolute spectacle. Again, like Maverick, maybe even more so. Just so visually arresting, including like from the cinematography to the edit with that long siege shot. There's all one shot.
Fucking incredible.
I think that's the reason why it peaks Maverick for me, is because of the technical side of things as well, from the sets to the costumes to the performance, to the Vikings singing.
Naked Vikings fighting on an active volcano.
Exactly. The climax of the film with the volcano in the back.
I can't remember the actual names they use, but I'll always remember that quote. Where he's just like, "I am Andro the War Bear. My father was King Andro the War Raven, and I am his vengeance." You're like, fuck
you feel it, right? Yeah, and just great supporting actors. You got Defoe in there, Ethan Hawke's in there.
Anna Taylor-Joy.
Ethan Hawke had a busy year because he was in Moon Knight as well, didn't he? He's knocked out the park.
Yeah.
I like the guy. I had to write it down, but is Claes Bang, who plays the main antagonist in it.
Yeah.
He was Dracula in that BBC adaptation.
Oh,
on
yes,
Netflix, so I fucking loved it. So as soon as I saw him, I was like, I'm fucking waiting to see something else with this guy in, you know.
And what a show.
Fucking brilliant. Wasn't Nicole Kidman like the best villain of last year?
Yes,
fucking bitch.
She was better than she was in Aquaman.
Fair.
Yes,
agreed.
fair.
Absolutely. It's great. I mean, and bear in mind that because it's Robert Eggers, right?
Yes, yeah.
And he's doing Nosferatu next.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
I'm after the Northman. I'm like, fucking money.
Yes.
But that was the funny thing. Like I saw the idea for the Northman, and I was just like, that's a movie I have to see. It just looks amazing, Viking wise. It's going to be absolutely epic. Anna Taylor-Joy's in it. She'll fucking be brilliant at anything. And then going to this motherfucker and going, "Have you seen Northman?" He's like, "Nah." I'm like, "You fucking have to see it."
I didn't get to see it until it came out on DVD. Yeah, but then the plus side is because I got the 4K, I got to watch like the 3 hour.
Yeah, I've not seen the extended version.
So was the cinema like a cut down version?
It was.
No,
but that's the thing. I just didn't watch a 3 hour epic.
No, I didn't bother going to see it in the cinema. Same reason I didn't go see Batman, because I'm just like, Northman is so big. I need to be at home in my own moment, and I paused it every hour. I'm like ingesting it. Like that's how much I enjoyed the movie. It's then when you try to, and because we know some people who are just like, "Oh, I'm not watching that," who would obviously be massive fans, and you're just trying to tell people, "Look, you're gonna love this fucking Viking movie."
Do you know what's interesting when you say that is because I don't know if anyone else did it, but because I remember asking you guys on the podcast when I think you mentioned it first.
Yeah.
I was under the impression that it was a sequel to one of the series like Vikings or something.
Yeah.
So I put it off because I haven't seen the fucking, So I'm going to see. It'd be like going to watch fucking Firefly after not seeing Serenity or something. You'd be like, no, you'd have to watch that. So that kind of just put me on the back foot of it, and then it just became, once it was out of the cinema, I was like, I'll just fucking wait for this bitch on Blu-ray.
It wasn't long. I think it was out on Blu-ray and while it was still in the cinema.
I love this. It's higher on my list, put it that way.
Nice.
But it was fucking phenomenal.
Andy, your number 6?
My number 6 is a series, and it was Stranger Things season 4.
Nice.
I'm a very simple creature, and if you give me someone standing in an alternative dimension on top of a fucked up Winnebago in a battle scene playing Master of Puppets, you're going to be on my top 10 list of the year. Well
Hell yeah. Good
stuff. That was a great. I loved Stranger Things season 1.
Yes.
2, I actually thought took a bit of a dip.
I agree.
And wasn't quite as interesting. 3 was kind of like, okay, yeah, there's a bit more to that, and it ended on a nice way. 4, I fucking love from start to finish. The fact that they had the balls to go like, by the way, these last few episodes, fucking sit tight, because they're going to be like hour and a half or whatever.
Each episode, yeah.
Worth it every second of it. It was one that we all watched together. Even my kid watched it. And legit the scariest fucking season as well.
Yeah.
The way that they jumped back and forth, like real dangerous to do, really easy to lose people, but the way they jump back and forth through time with Elle. Matthew Modine just knocking it the fuck out of the park.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was just amazing.
It really was maybe like the biggest event TV series of the year last year.
I can't think of a bigger one, to be honest, and especially, I mean, it drops in the summer when everyone's like,
the only one I think we even came close was Wednesday towards the end with her dance music, but even then Eddie Munson
for like pop culture,
Eddie Munson was all over the world. He was traveling with Metallica, like even fucking Dylan and the grandchildren, they were all wearing Hellfire tops, and I was like,
I've got one.
I need to buy one. No, I'm not gonna
do you know what I think
still haven't
as well?
seen that. I haven't seen season 1.
But it's funny because I think think I saw like a gif of Eddie Munson playing before I saw that episode while we were watching it. You know,
yeah,
wow.
You know, we couldn't. It was like, no, we're all going to watch it together. And
I've seen that sequence more than anything else in the fucking all 4 seasons.
Oh,
I'm just playing that guitar.
fucking love it.
I've only seen that sequence once so far, just when I watched it.
Balls of steel for that one. So yeah, absolutely love Stranger Things.
Nice.
What we at 5?
I think
your
we're on
number
our
5 is my number 1.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, my number 5 is Peacemaker. We'll talk about it when we get Andy's number 1. But yeah, my number 5 TV show, Peacemaker.
Outstanding.
Ian? You want to do your 5? Or should
I'll do my 5 and then you rock in with yours.
Right, well, okay, so for me, like, as I said, I only did my top 5 of the year. And I know that some people are going to be like, you're supposed to do a top 10, but I work through the year. And not only that, but I work on a show where we do a lot of film reviews and things like that. So entertainment-wise...
So you're saying you didn't enjoy 10 things this year?
Entertainment-wise, it's really difficult for me just to sit down and ingest more entertainment because obviously I've got to work with it and then sometimes I just want to switch off and not overanalyze stuff. I actually, like I said, when I look at something, I have to know I'm going to sit there and enjoy it, not have to sit there and sit through 3 episodes of am I actually enjoying this or not. You know, I have to by the end of it know. So that's why I just stick to my normal stuff, my games, my wrestling. I know I'm going to just enjoy that, but it's because I'm always constantly working. But one of the best things I had last year, and I still can't fucking believe that this happened to me, and I'm still loving it fucking right now, is the fact that I was able to pick up Sledgehammer, the TV series on DVD, as well as Erie, Indiana on DVD. Now, some people are like, what's he talking about? And these are old TV shows from when I was younger. Erie, Indiana is a 90s TV show about a kid who moves to a town called Erie, Indiana, and all these weird things happen in every single episode. It's only had 1 season, you know, and then it was cancelled. Sledgehammer...
Was he in the... what was it?
He was in Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
He was the main guy in Hocus Pocus.
It's hard to differentiate kids with curtains in the 90s. We all look the same.
Sledgehammer is this late 80s cop drama. It's like a remake of Naked Gun where you get this guy, Detective Sledgehammer, who literally just shoots first, asks questions later, and it's just a comedy parody.
Well, with a name like that.
And I've been wanting to rewatch these shows since I was watching them when I was younger, and I couldn't buy the DVDs anywhere. Amazon were just like, look, you're either going to need the NTSC ones, or you're just gonna not have them. And I just happened to be going to CEX, our local, trade-in store with a bunch of games that I was trading in, and I was going to use the money for something else. And I'm walking around CEX. And blam, that's when I found fucking Sledgehammer on DVD.
I got these magic beans, Linda.
Yeah. Blam, I fucking find Erie, Indiana in the same fucking day. I find both these shows on DVD. I'm like, well, fuck whatever I was gonna buy. Like this, I'm spending the money now on these 2 fucking great things.
Did you bring home dinner?
And watch the DVD?
And just the fact that I have these now. I'm rewatching them. Like I said, when I know I'm going to sit down and watch something that I'm going to get entertainment out of, that's why I blitzed fucking Jack of all trades. I'm like, it's got Bruce Campbell in it. I'm fucking watching it. So, for me...
when you called me? You called me the day you got them. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Dude, I got fucking Erie, Indiana on DVD. And the first words out my wife was like, them twins from Terminator 2.
The twins from Terminator 2.
I was walking with the dog at the time. I was looking fucking stupid. I was cool.
The thing I'm really loving at the moment is, and I know I'm probably, like I said, upsetting people because instead of striving forward to enjoy more things that are coming out, I'm actually going backwards. I'm regressing. I'm actually going to, later on when I go home...
Your viewing is like the Benjamin Button view.
Yeah, no, I want to sit there in my front room with my PlayStation 2 playing Resident Evil 1 while maybe watching Erie, Indiana, or,
On a CRT
I'm a grown man,
TV.
I'll do what the fuck I want. So, yeah.
Babe, I want one of those fatback TVs.
Yeah. Sledgehammer in Erie, Indiana. If you haven't watched them,
It's the only thing this SCART cable will go into.
Yes, it is the TV series where he shoots the intro. Trust me, I know what I'm doing.
That's fucking awesome. My 5 is another series, and it's Afterlife Season 3.
Oh, nice.
The Netflix Ricky Gervais
Why did you shave
series.
your head?
Oh, don't, because I'll go.
That sequence, I have never seen the series, but I've seen that sequence a lot. And I'm like,
showed on
that's
Facebook
Ricky
a lot,
Gervais can actually properly act.
Yeah, man, it is. It's like a lot of people. It's funny. It's a hard sell sometimes to people that are like, because he's definitely a comedian. I think that people are like, either he's really funny or fuck that man.
Yeah.
But it's a phenomenal comedic performance. It's a phenomenal dramatic performance.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people had seemed not a problem with, but a lot of people found the ending to be kind of ambiguous. I actually thought it was a great emotional ending to like unpack, but still very satisfying, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
There's a great continued evolution and sort of like underlining of all the returning characters. Have you watched it?
Yes, yeah.
You know, kind of the only not bad thing, but it's like shame is like there's a couple of characters they couldn't bring back for one reason or another. Him kind of becoming like the happiest he could be, moving on, understanding that there is things that he could do. He helps a lot of people in that series. That aside, when he turns on the cunt radar, it's amazing, isn't it? Oh my god, there's a scene where he pitches a cactus through the back of a Range Rover, and I couldn't stop laughing for 10 minutes. And I mean, I love it when I watch something and my wife's like, "You do that," and I'm like, "I fucking would have." Oh my god, he was so justified in what he did. Yeah, it's I've talked about the other two seasons before, so it's no surprise. I love this one. It was very early in 2022 that it came out. It's only when I was going through stuff that I was, that was this year. Oh my god.
But it was Ricky Gervais that ended it, because they were like, "We're not cancelling you. We'll give you more."
And that's how you know that sort of like, no, I had an idea and it goes from here to here, and we're here now. That's it.
It's really good that Ricky Gervais does that. He goes, "Look, I've run my course and I'm going to go off and do something else now."
Absolutely.
You know, it keeps things fresh.
Yeah, it was great. Again, it's on Netflix. Go watch it.
Hell yeah.
You paid for it. It's worth it.
All right, are we on to number fours?
It's on you,
my
sir.
number 4 is my film of the year. My film of 2022 is Nope.
I'm actually really surprised about that.
Not better than Terrifier 2?
Yeah. It was Nope. Nope was fantastic. Like the more I think about Nope, the more I enjoy it. All of the layers that are hidden in there, or the obvious ones, the not the subtle ones, the ambiguity, the bizarre creature, the whole sci-fi, Lovecraftian deity monster creature. Like, what is it? Where did it come from? How long has it been here?
It looked amazing.
It's such an amazing design. And the way it escalates. Michael Wincott, when he turns up, was great. All the cast was good. I also had one of the most intense, disturbing, claustrophobic mass killings that I literally felt really uncomfortable. The most uncomfortable I felt in a film in a long time. I also thought Nope's advertising campaign was phenomenal. It was one of those where I'm like, watch the trailer. Like, it's not going to tell you anything. It's just going to get you perplexed and confused and interested, maybe. I love the escalation of things when the house gets bled on. Like, it is harrowing. I literally felt for these characters, but I also loved their sense of adventure and trying to figure out what it was until it becomes almost too late. I like Jordan Peele. I've liked his previous movies, but Nope for me is the best one yet.
You did like Get
Out? Yeah, I like Get Out. Yeah.
See, because I wanted to watch Get Out when it came out, and then I just kind of missed it, and I was like, I'll get back round to it. And then Us dropped, and I wasn't too sure. I thought it was a really unique premise, but same thing. I was like, I'll wait, and then I didn't have a chance. When Nope dropped, I was like, for fuck's sake, Ian, get off your fucking ass and watch one of these movies. And now my brain's like, fuck it, I've already bought the triple box set.
Like, I'm watching Erie Indiana, leave me alone.
I bought the triple box set when it comes out. I'm watching Erie Indiana and Space Precinct.
Nice.
But the imagery, I can't spoil it, but the imagery for Nope, I was just like,
for me, obviously, I like my Lovecraft.
Like the sky, the sky is glorious in that movie. I'm not faulting the cinematography; it's just everything else that I didn't enjoy.
Sure, but, for me, it was right up my alley.
I think I said to you, I was like, the thing about the monkey?
Yeah.
That was the story. I wanted to know about that.
Yeah.
That was
the main guy in Nope. I've really liked him, and I especially liked him when he got his fucking ass handed to him in Black Panther.
See, I was going to say the rhino fucks him up.
Well, no. It was Michonne fucking him up. When he told her that he was standing against her, I was like, as soon as I was in the cinema, I looked at Linda. I was like, he's just fucked up.
I think the one thing that I will say, because I don't want to fucking shit all over it, especially being on your top 10, because I didn't. I know.
I know.
I will say, like, fucking props to Jordan Peele, because he clearly gets to make whatever fucking movie he wants.
Yeah, absolutely.
He literally knocks the door open with his dick, like, pow! This is what we're doing today. And they're like, okay, how much money do you need?
Yeah.
Like, so he's obviously got a good partnership going with whoever he's working with.
Yeah.
He gets to do whatever the fuck he wants.
But yeah, more sci-fi cosmic horror, please, Jordan.
He goes into any of these film companies and he's just like, I need your money. And I was like,
Bitch.
That was my number 4.
More of that. I want more of that. Like, you know.
I'll go with mine. Right, so my number 4 as well. We've already talked about it, but I'm going to go into a little bit more in depth. Is Evil Dead the game? I've been waiting for another multiplayer game for Gary and I to jump on to since fucking Clone and Marines and Alien vs Predator, and I know there was a load of games between those games that you and I could have jumped into, but it was us finding the time, us both enjoying it. You know, I didn't want to just be buying a game because you were playing it and I was just tagging along. I needed a reason to get into the games as well. When Evil Dead dropped, I was hell of a surprised at the price. I was hell of a surprised about how well it worked. The first character I went for was Henry, because obviously he's a ginger Scotsman, you know, and it was just so fluid.
They did my create a character for me.
And it was just so fluid to just be running around as this combat. Like you said, the learning curve was hard because teams are fucking running all over the place. People are getting annihilated, and you just know that the evil is laughing at you from the other side of the screen, like, "Ha, you fuckers!" So then you go, you know what? I'm gonna play as the evil, and then you're doing it. You're spawning enemies constantly on them, and you're just fucking them over. And you know that the team of survivors are screaming like, "Leave me alone, fuck's sake! I can't find a ship anywhere. I can't find any good weapons." They keep dropping out all these new characters. I made it a key thing I had to do was I had to level up all of my ashes in there. So there were 4 Ash characters and then an evil Ash I had to do.
One from each movie and the series.
Yeah, so I did. So I played as all 4 Ashes. Like I said, I maxed out Henry. I maxed out all the Ashes. I went and maxed out evil Ash. I know there's more characters I could do, but at the moment they've just dropped a prestige function in there, which normally we wouldn't do a prestige. But at the same time, I'm like, I can't stop playing this game. You know, I know
One more game. One game can go 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, and it's just so good. Like I said, I had a game this morning. We went against Elagost. He was a level 2, Gary. He's a level 2 Elagost. We fucked his ass royally. There was a point we were on the book. We were all just dancing. We were just dancing around the book because the guy just couldn't spawn him up. But
I just can't stop talking about Terrifier.
At the same time, I just knew as well that hopefully for that player.
Yeah.
Because I've been there.
Hopefully they stick around.
I've been there. I've been at level 2
hard.
and you get schooled hard. So you just keep at it and you keep changing your skill tree and you keep trying different things. You know, I want to get my prestige of Henry up to level 30 so that when I go into a game, people go, fuck, TJ240's here. He's going to fuck shit up. You know, Gary's my blacksmith. He's healing. We're hoping to get other players in this. We can get a full fucking team in the game. You know, I love it. I'm loving it.
Nice.
I'm loving it.
Alrighty, are we on to number 3?
4,
sorry, Andy, you're number 4.
Mine is The Menu.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I still need to see this
Again, I won't spoil anything from it then, mate, because again, this is another good example of course you did. It's another example, fuck it then. This is another example of, like, you know, if you can go into it knowing as little as possible or as wiki as possible. Fuck's sake. Sorry. So... Yeah, again, I didn't really know about it, and this is another good example like we were talking about the other day, where it just dropped on fucking Disney Plus, even though it's not too long had its cinema run.
Yeah, well, as soon as I saw the poster with Ralph Fiennes, I was like, I need to know what the fuck this is.
Oh, dude, it's phenomenal. I mean, you have a group of sort of foodies. Anna Taylor-Joy's in it as well.
Yeah, which is another fucking reason to watch it.
And Renfield.
Nicholas Hoult.
Nicholas Hoult, who's fucking brilliant.
He's really good in it. He's despicable, despicable.
Oh my God,
but most of them are.
And also has the best, like the best moment, the best ending to it as well.
Yeah.
It's basically a group of foodies and sort of critics, people that go to an island to have this like experience, this tasting menu by this renowned chef. You know, like if you've ever, I haven't personally been to one, but I know if you go to these like, you know, upmarket Michelin restaurants, you don't so much go and have a meal, you have an experience where it's like 12 plus courses of little things that you try.
Just give me the fucking food.
I know, I'm like, just
and you leave hungry.
Motherfucker, cook my steak. It's like this thriller, dark comedy like suspense movie. I know that's a lot, but that is kind of what it's like. You know what I mean? I actually rewatched I didn't rewatch, but I watched the trailer afterwards. Because I wanted to kind of see, and actually the trailer is very good at suggesting the tone but not giving anything away of it.
It is.
Ralph Fiennes and Anna Taylor-Joy, actually, I think, are one of the best combos I've seen on screen all year.
They were really good, weren't they? Actually,
fucking great. And what's also really good is when you get a movie that basically uses almost like one fucking location.
And
still manages to stay interesting all the way through. There was a point where I looked over at Donna, my wife, doesn't do like horror at all or anything. And so we're watching this knowing nothing, and there were points where I looked over and she's like, like, are you fucking hiding right now?
For those of you listening to the audio only podcast, she put this t-shirt over his eyes.
She was hiding basically. That's a good point. Yeah, I always forget it's actually a podcast. Fucking idiot. There's some amazing moments and some really good commentary actually on kind of like critics.
Yeah, critics.
Oh, absolutely,
The moment,
it's all the whole class thing, isn't it?
I mean, Nicholas Hoult like plays this fucking foodie who's kind of like, he'll go in and he'll be like, oh, are you doing this? Like, and the guy preparing the food is like, yes, mate. And he's like, did you use this? Did you? And he's like, yeah. He's like, oh, I thought you did. He's like, good for you. Like, kind of, I know what I'm talking about, and explains everything about the dish and desperately wants to be friends with the chef to get some acknowledgement. And there's a point where he kind of invites him to like fucking cook something, and he can't do it, and it is kind of, it's an interesting commentary on like, look, we could, like, I'm not being funny, I can sit here and go, fucking no, I didn't really enjoy Nope and stuff like that, but it's like, well, you make a movie, asshole, and I'll be like, no, I don't know how to make it.
Andy's bullshit.
Like, exactly, literally, exactly. So it's a really interesting film. You won't know which way it's going if you go into it.
It's unpredictable, isn't it?
Absolutely. Great performances as well. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Alrighty. Well, speaking of great performances, mine's coming from this video game, which I honestly thought was going to be my number one last year. And so my number 3 is A Plague Tale Requiem, which released on the 17th of October by Asobo Studios, a French studio. And just wow. Like, these two games, Innocence and Requiem, won me over last year in a big way. And Requiem was almost certainly gonna land a place on this list somewhere. Amicia and Hugo were so well portrayed, written, performed, and voiced in such spectacular fashion that Charlotte McBurney wins for me Performance of the Year as Amicia. The range, the depth, the emotion, and the passion was just staggering. I hope more gamers or film fans will check this game out and get lost in the rat maze. It's one hell of a story, setting, and nightmare. Special mention in this game for its beautiful art team. Absolutely stunning in 4K. Literally one of the most beautiful looking games I've ever played. You will literally spend more time, just as much time in the picture mode as you will the actual 20-odd hours runtime of the game. The music is also sublime. Pitch perfect for every character, returning themes, locations, and action and drama sections. Yeah. I still listen to the soundtrack to this game even now. Absolutely great stuff. Floored me emotionally. Was devastated. So caught up in this adventure. Hands down, phenomenal game.
Awesome. I've got to play it yet. I played the first one, so it's on Games Pass. I'm ready to go.
Awesome. I know a few people that I've mentioned it to. I've actually started playing it since I've talked about it. I'm like, that's awesome.
First one was great. The physics engine as well. The first one was amazing. Is that improved much? Has there been much change in it?
They more than quadrupled the amount of rats on the screen.
Oh fuck it! I'm not playing that. Then. Shit. No, there was some fucking tight.
I know the game had some performance issues when it came out on consoles and on PCs. It is such a demanding game. If you want it to look as great as it can, older consoles and less powerful PCs are gonna chug. Don't know if it was optimization, but hopefully the game's working much better now anyway. But still playable.
My number 3, I'm back on the Switch again. This is a game that I've always wanted to go back to because it was one of my favourite games when I was like 12 years old. Before I even got to Doom or Duke Nukem, before Quake and GoldenEye, I was on Zero Tolerance on the Mega Drive. And last year, I'd spent all of last year watching the internet because I'd heard that they were re-releasing it
for the Switch. And I was just like, motherfucker, I need this shit. I fucking need this motherfucker. Like, fuck all these, fuck Plague Tale and God of War Ragnarok and your fucking Cyberpunk.
Fuck your AAA games.
Fuck all your AAA games.
Fuck
I
these
need
cunts.
my fucking 12-year-old, my 12-year-old self needs to fucking play a first-person game on the Switch on the go. And do you know what? I was waiting for it to be released in a physical edition, and they didn't. What they did was they snuck it on the Nintendo eShop, and I happened to notice it on a YouTube video of first-person games that come out on the Switch, that they were like, hey, they've just released this. And I was just like,
mother.
And I remember going home, and I turned to Linda, and I was just like, I'm buying a game on the credit card, and it has to go through yours, because you're the only person who's got a credit card attached to the Switch, so I'm giving you the money, and I'm getting this game. And she's like, okay. And then I sat
just see Linda just confused. You burst through the door and she's like, she's like holding £20 note. Going, what the fuck just happened?
And
he's on the toilet again.
Yeah, he's fucking on the toilet again. Took the Switch with him. I got the game again. What was really good is that you know, like I know a lot of people say this. Oh, Ian, you could just get an emulator. Well, the thing is that when I got Zero Tolerance for the Switch, it wasn't an emulator. It was somebody had actually taken the old game, remastered it, and then gone, look, we've got the old game, the old sequel game that they made, which is broken, and we kind of slightly fixed it, but now we've also made an updated version, up to date for you. So if you can't be bothered playing the slow version from the Mega Drive, you can play this faster, updated version. So I got 3 games for what I was paying. I thought I was paying for just one.
Yeah, right on, man.
And then I played it all the way through. The game is still amazing. Like, this game didn't have like loading screens like that. You know, you went onto one map, you went onto the first level, it's like you've got to kill 35 enemies and then move to the next level. You don't have to kill them all, you can go to the next level whenever you want. You just don't get the save code.
Yeah.
But luckily, because it's been remastered, I can hit the 2 shoulder buttons and just quick save it whenever I want to.
Right,
Nice,
cool.
yeah.
You know, they've made all these little updates, like traveling through the elevator, you go down to the next level and you think, hang on a minute, there's no entrance. You have to go to the next level beneath that. Kill your way to the other side, make your way up, and go back and kill all the enemies, and then
get so
work your way
lost.
down.
Yeah.
Fucking mind.
Fucking hurt me just hearing that.
Mate, you're talking about Lost. I got to the basement section. The basement section was the last section of the game, and literally the map is just a fucking chaotic puke maze of turns and corners, right? And I literally had to keep stopping the map and doing each section as a square because I had to make sure I killed all the enemies, because I was wanting to do that. Kill everything and get to the end. I completely fucking smashed the shit out of it, and I was just like, man, like I said, AAA titles come and go nowadays for 60 quid.
Yeah.
Yet like a £8-10 game from your childhood fucking just lasts forever.
Man, it's crazy, isn't it? And especially, it's funny, like you say, about just dealing with like a little problem with like the saving thing, making you be able to do that quick save. I was like, oh my god, if I had this when I was a kid, it's like that.
The games we could have finished.
Oh, absolutely.
Man, it was right up there. So, like I said, when I got the Turtles Cowabunga collection, playing Turtles on the NES Turtles over and over again and rewinding it. I've just died. Oh fuck, I'm rewinding it. I'm just gonna
try that again.
Dude, I watched Jessica play like Sonic the Hedgehog 1 on the Xbox, and she like, you know, does a few levels. She went, oh, I don't know if I'm going to save it there. And I'm like, oh, you don't know shit. You don't know shit.
We had to turn it off, start up, and
I'm
start
like,
from the
if you
beginning.
wanted to see the end of that game, you had to fucking sit there and do it.
Or write down a 50-digit code.
Yeah, granted, or just learn up, down, left, right, and start. But still.
Andy, you're number 3.
My number 3 is a dead easy one because we've talked about it ad nauseum on previous podcasts. But it's The Batman.
Oh, yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Fucking loved it.
The Batman.
The second 3-hour movie on my top 10. I can't believe it. Guess what's coming in next as well. I rewatched this the other day for about the 4th time.
Wow.
Paul Dano was amazing.
Fucking love him. Enjoy it more and more each time that I watch
Andy
it.
Serkis, but Alfred.
Yep, Alfred, phenomenal. It's great as well. Do you know what? Actually, the reason I rewatched it the other day is I finished watching Andor, and Andy Serkis is fucking great in Andor. And I was like, what have I watched him in recently? I was like,
Batman.
Alfred, let's watch that.
Yeah, I still don't care for Batman that much. No compulsion to watch it again. The more time that's gone since it's come out, the more I'm like, oh yeah, it did, didn't it? It did come out. Yeah.
That was the thing that happened.
It was, I mean, next Batman film comes out, I'll be there to watch it. Though.
It's definitely, for me as a comic book fan, again, just my opinion, it's definitely the best adaptation to the screen for me personally of the type of comic book Batman that I enjoy, because obviously there's lots of different versions.
Yeah.
I mean, this is, you know, like when people argued about like the bat flag, where it's like, he's fucking shooting people. I'm like, this version does. That's what happens in comics. They have different versions of the same character. So this was my favorite adaptation of a Batman. I can't wait for the sequel.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Alright, are we on to number 2s? This is my TV show of the year.
Nice.
And I am so sad that this universe has now come to its conclusion. It's been one hell of a ride, but it had to come to an end. Better Call Saul, Season 6, the 6th and final season of the AMC television series, which premiered on April 18th, 2022, and concluded on August 15th, 2022. 13-episode season, broadcast on Mondays at 9 p.m, and then on Netflix over here in the UK. The final episode was Saul Gone. The show followed the ex-con artist Jimmy McGill, a small-time attorney that goes through a series of trials and tragedies as he transforms into his alter ego, Saul Goodman, a morally challenged criminal lawyer. Now, this is not just an extension of Breaking Bad. In many ways, it outshines its parent show with some of the most interesting characters in modern television. Bob Odenkirk and the whole cast were fan-fucking-tastic. It was a great send-off and a conclusion to the Breaking Bad universe and this character. I honestly can't now wait to see what Vince Gilligan and Peter Gould come up with next, now that they're leaving the Breaking Bad universe behind. Honestly, it's one of those shows that now that it's all over, you've got all of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. They are binge-worthy. They are. You can always just go back to them, and I tell you, some of the best writing and characterization ever. I miss it. There is a void now where this show was each year, so very sad to see it go.
Like I know
good that it got its run though.
Like,
Absolutely.
I started Breaking Bad, but I was watching so much shit at that time. I was just like but I watched the end of the first season, and I'm like, you know what? That's just such great writing, great character building, and so then taking the Saul Goodman character from that show, and giving him his own show. It's just highlighting how good Bob Odenkirk is.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I mentioned it to you, but it was like, I don't know, like a couple of weeks before Christmas, we were getting ready for school, and he turned up. Bob Odenkirk turned up in Everybody Loves Raymond, and he was trying to sell. He was trying to sell something to Raymond.
He was almost like in character, and 20 years before.
Yeah, but that's it. He looked exactly the same, and I'm like,
Jimmy McGill.
You can honestly see where he just went, we need you to do something. Oh, I know.
Yeah,
and
I've been here before. Yeah. Oh, man. So good. I miss it.
My number 2, back to the comic book movies, and I think that this was the fucking best movie for last year. I know everybody's got their own say on the MCU, the DCU, the up you, the down you, the whatever. You fucking do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Terrifier 5.
Terrifier 5, fuck yous. No Way Home for me was the...
Oh, Spider-Man is yours.
Spider-Man No Way Home, number 2, was the... It was something that I've always wanted. I'm trying to think of the word I'm trying to think of, but I can't. It was something that I've always wanted for cinema to acknowledge, and it's so easy for them to turn
Cross
to
the
us.
streams.
Yeah, it's so easy for them to turn around every now and again and go, oh, forget that there's a sequel, or forget that there's that series. We're completely restarting it. We're completely rehashing it. We're going to do this. You know, we had the Sam Raimi fucking Spider-Man movies, and we never thought we were ever going to go any further from that. But somebody somewhere went, actually, we can make a lot of money from these comic book movies. So they started to go a little bit more. And then they brought in the Amazing Spider-Man movies with Andrew Garfield. I wasn't a big fan of them. But then as I started watching more of Andrew Garfield outside the Spider-Man universe, and Hacksaw Ridge, and that play thing he did on Netflix, I can't remember what it was called. It was a musical. I was like, man, he's really good. And the same thing with fucking Tobey Maguire. You know, everyone gives fucking Spider-Man 3 shit, you know, but Tobey Maguire is still a really good actor. So we need something to come along to say, hey, look, these movies actually are good.
And then all of a sudden, here comes Tom Holland again. We've started a new Peter Parker. We're starting new Mary Jane. We're starting new stories. We didn't think that actually their third movie would bring in Garfield and Maguire from two separate movies, acknowledge that those movies exist, acknowledge that what they went through actually happened, and have them all in this one universe together. I've also...
Did it better than Days of Future Past, didn't they?
Totally. I've also, while I was thinking on my list, and I was saving it for the podcast, I've also come up with a bit of a story for Marissa Tomei. Now, Marissa Tomei, she plays Aunt May in Spider-Man, correct? And she's an absolutely wonderful actress. So, this is my film kind of story for Aunt May, Marissa Tomei, okay? So, she starts off as a go-lucky girl hanging out with Joe Pesci, who is in My Cousin Vinny, right? And Joe Pesci goes to get his cousin Vinny out of a court case. She goes down there, she does her little speech thing about the car. It's absolutely amazing. Joe Pesci falls in love with her. So the film ends, the two of them drive off into sunset. But because Joe Pesci is such a really good lawyer, he gets hired to help out his brother, who's just been arrested after trying to burglarize a kid's house during Christmas. Now, Marissa Tomei turns to him and says,
His twin brother?
They kind of look the same. Yeah, they're kind of related. She tells him, look, I don't want you getting involved in this court case. And he says, look, I've got to go help him. He's my family. She's like, look, if you go help him, I'm going to leave you. And he's like, look, I'm sorry, I have to go do this, because she doesn't like the fact that he's involved and she doesn't want to get involved with it. So he fucks off and she ends up meeting some guy called Ben Parker, and they get together and they'll start to settle down, right? Now, in this time, Ben Parker...
I really thought you were going to go balls out and make Joe Pesci Uncle Ben.
No, you can't do that. He's already
It's
gone
the
off
other
into
alternate
that.
universe.
Right, so she gets with Ben Parker, and in that time, Peter Parker's mum and dad end up getting together, having a kid, dying, and leaving Peter with them, right? And they end up raising him. So it's now Aunt May, Marissa Tomei, Ben Parker, and fucking Peter Parker. Now, Ben dies, right? Peter becomes Spider-Man. And then there's the snap. Yeah? Now, Spider-Man...
Because so far, what you've done is describe the plot of Spider-Man.
Spider-Man ends up disappearing. Marissa Tomei, Aunt May, she's stuck without any money. She can't actually afford to do anything. She's got no husband, no
in this universe, his own
no grandson to bring in. So she becomes a stripper. And while stripping,
she meets
Ricky Rourke, Randy the Ram Robinson, and ends up trying to have a relationship with him. But then at the same time, he dies. And then... this is during the 5-year period. So at the end of that time, right, she's realizing she can't be a stripper anymore, and they bring Spider-Man back. And Spider-Man comes up to Aunt May and goes, Aunt May, I've really missed you. What have you been up to? She's like, not much. But she's got all these life lessons to tell Spider-Man how to continue to keep doing stuff.
That's not an idea for a story. That's you describing the 3 movies you watched in a row. I watched My Cousin Vinny, then I watched The Wrestler, and then I watched Spider-Man, because they're all connected. Are they? They were today.
Yeah. Spider-Man No Way Home was great.
That's enough to put it at number 2.
And made a stripper.
Thanks, Ian.
Yeah. My fucking insane. My number 2 in film of the year is The Northman. Obviously, we've already talked about it. Yeah,
Northman,
all day. If you've not seen
all
it, get your ass on it. It's amazing.
Hell yeah. Yeah, Northman.
For all the reasons we talked about.
It could easily have been my number 1, as well as Maverick, as well as Nope. It was just like, on any given day, do you want sci-fi, do you want history, or do you want fantasy, you know? Yeah, great. Number 1s, I believe we're on.
Yes.
Number 1s, I'll start. My number 1, it's a video game, and that game is Elden Ring. It came out.
You still playing it?
I will tell you why this one ended up becoming my number 1.
Okay.
Is that it came out 25th of February last year, 2022. The game is still installed on my PC. Other games have been installed, played, and come off. Elden Ring stayed installed this entire time. I finished it twice. I've streamed a full playthrough. I played co-op with a really good friend. I love talking about it endlessly with fellow Tarnished and Soulsborne players. It's open world gaming done right. It's challenging, rewarding, exciting, amazing, top tier, unbeatable dark art, fantasy, gothic settings, great bosses, great level design, great creature design, memorable encounters, lots of cosmetics and weapons and fighting styles, bizarre and interesting NPCs, phenomenal soundtrack, good graphics, animations, and lots of replayability. Plus there's more content coming. Even though I put in like nearly 300 hours into it last year, and I was like, it's as much Souls as I need in this time of space, but I didn't uninstall it because I knew, like, I'm coming back. It's good enough, I'm coming back.
It's my end game. I've said that Elden Ring, that's why I didn't buy it last year. If I bought Elden Ring, I would not be playing anything else ever again. Simply because I love Dark Souls 1 so much.
Me too, yeah. It's my peak, the pinnacle.
Dark Souls 1 was a proper game that after I completed it for like the second time, I'm like, I got this game now, So I carry on playing it. And then I looked at Elden Ring and the fact that they went, oh yeah, it's basically Dark Souls, but in this massive, huge world. I was like, I can't now. Because if I do it, I'm never playing anything else.
I'm still collecting Gwent cards in The Witcher.
I was kind of like, look, the longest game I'm going to get to be able to play this year is going to be Ragnarok, so I'm going to have to use that time for that. It's a shame. It's a shame I don't have that kind of time for that type of game, to be honest.
Yeah, I took a fortnight
I think
off.
someone was talking about, they're going to drop a trailer for the next Elder Scrolls game soon, because obviously thingy's, is it Starcraft or Starcraft?
Yeah, I know the one you mean.
The fucking sci-fi version of it that they're dropping, which looks amazing, and I'm like, am I going to have time to play that? And then they said about, we're going to drop a trailer soon describing the next one. I was like, fuck, I'm going to have to put this
Epic One Games.
So, but Elden Ring, the gameplay that I've seen of it does look phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
I do feel like when I'm actually retired and I'm 70 and I'm sat in an open,
you'll have all 5 Elden Rings to play.
I'll be playing Elden Ring.
This is great.
Ian, your number 1 from 2022.
My number 1.
What, one second.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do mine first because I know you're gonna get, because your number 1.
I was not even going to have a number 10.
This is it. Me and Gary both said, like, I would have taken everything I own and put on a bet if someone was like, can you guess his number 1? I'd be like, piece of piss.
Easy.
So I'm just going to do mine real quick to let you know, all right? That's the reason.
Yeah.
So my number 1, I think we already mentioned it, is Series of the Year is Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think I said at the start of 2022 when it came out, I started watching, I was like, there's no way there's anything better than this all fucking year. Had no fucking reason, no right to be that. I can't believe that at the end of the year as well, I finished my fucking top 10 with 3 3-hour plus movies and 2 things from DC.
Yeah.
Not from the DCEU, I might add, but 2 things from DC. And no fucking MCU. So fucked up. What world do we live in? No business being this good. Possibly the winner of the greatest CGI sidekick of all time, because that eagle is fucking faultless.
Yes.
Eagly is faultless. You can't fuck with it. John Cena is charming as all fuck. He's actually taken a really flawed character who was fine in the Suicide Squad. I enjoyed the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Peacemaker was fine.
A part of it.
But if you told me he was the one that was getting the spin-off, I'm
you'd
like,
be like, what?
When we heard that, the film came out and they were like, well, they're making a Peacemaker TV series. We were like, really?
Making you root for such a flawed character.
Yeah.
Having a comedic series that still manages to bring this character in who's like, I fucking hate all these things. And the whole audience going, you've done all those things. What the fuck, mate?
The intro, the music.
The fucking intro, the opening credits alone gets this into the fucking top 10. But the supporting cast is absolutely 10 out of fucking 10 for me. The characters, fucking, Harcourt is amazing. Vigilante, Jesus H. Fuck. Oh my God, he's good.
I actually think, like, personally, I thought Peacemaker actually did better than The Boys.
Yeah, it did for me.
I haven't managed to watch season 3 of The Boys yet, unfortunately, but I still
but for
can't.
season 1 for Peacemaker,
if that's it coming out of the
season
fucking
1 and
gate.
2 of The Boys.
And Robert, help me out, his dad,
England.
fucking
Robert
Patrick, playing his dad, playing the fucking white dragon.
Supremacist,
white supremacist. Oh my God, when he gets in that suit at the end, you're like, this should not be working. That suit is ridiculous. And the whole thing of him going into his house where he's like, it's a fucking totally different dimension that we're stood in, dick. Like,
It was such an action-packed finale as well.
It was. I got, Donna bought it for me for Christmas on Blu-ray. When I opened it, I was so fucking... I was almost like, fuck that turkey, we're watching Peacemaker. Just get on delivery or something. But
I do want to watch the show again. I hope it gets another season, because obviously James Gunn did Peacemaker.
I've not heard
He's not discussed it yet, or whether they'll
discussed.
get to continue to do that, maybe. Like, within that old universe still. I don't know.
But it was, I love it. We talked about Cobra Kai a lot, being the like, you've got no right to be this good. How did this fucking happen? This is the new best example, I think, of something that was like,
had no
so
right
many
to be
people
that
that
good,
said that I said, like, if you watch Peacemaker, and they're like, I had no interest in watching that. I'm like, dude, it is absolutely worth your time.
And it's another justification of why I love wrestling so much, because like we said, John Cena
produced a charismatic fucking leader man, dude.
You know, they went from one thing.
I never thought Cena had it in him.
Also the greatest soundtrack to
I
anything ever.
I always thought Cena was able to do stuff like that after seeing the Doctor of Thugonomics. You know, if they'd let him swear back in the day, that's what he'd been doing.
Oh, he'd have been in the Attitude Era. That character would have been gangbusters.
Going to Peacemaker, he's got himself into such a prominent position in TV to go.
Bought a lot of credibility back after that China debacle with me. With him sort of basically, being a bit of a bitch. But I was like, well, can't fault him for this because. My kid loves Eagly so much. I didn't let her watch the show just in case anyone's asking, because there's a lot of bad, there's a lot of sex stuff. I wouldn't let her watch in that. But I was like totally like, you gotta watch the intros to this show. She fell in love with it. Fucking, I was constantly hearing the song playing. So I kept going, are you watching that show? She's like, I'm just listening to the song. Like, okay.
Just checking.
Fuck's sake. Sorry, go for it.
So my
exactly
top,
what we were thinking. Come on.
My top of 2022 was going to see The Thing on the big screen in 4K in fucking October. Like I said, you're fucking lucky you got an extra 4 things out of me, and there was no way.
And that they weren't all the thing.
There was no way. Like I wouldn't. There was no point in me doing even a number 9 and sitting there going, "What was my number 10?" Because I didn't fucking give a shit about it. Going to see my favorite all-time sci-fi movie, one of the greatest sci-fi movies ever fucking made, on the big screen. This is like a life-changing moment. We always say, man, I really wish I'd seen that movie on the big screen. And a lot of the times you don't get the chance. I got the chance to see The Thing for its 40th anniversary, and it honestly just completely changed my life on how I look at movies now, because people go, "You gonna go see that on the big screen?" And I'm like, no, because it's gonna be nothing like
Kurt Russell in it.
Yeah, is Kurt Russell in it? No, but I ain't motherfucking seeing it there. Seeing
McCready's, was it made in 1982?
Seeing McCready's giant fucking head on the screen was amazing. Hearing that music kick in.
Sorry, another bite for the 4K Blu-ray. See McCready's head, his massive head in 4K.
Just like
fuck this cunt.
Like I even said, I finished off seeing The Thing in the cinema, and I went home, and on the same night, Halloween, the original Halloween, was on Channel 4. And I was just like, well, I'm gonna fucking watch this.
Yeah, right.
And I sat there and watched it, and just. Like I said, just taking in that moment. Like I can go and see an MCU movie or a DCU movie or a Terminator movie or an Alien movie. It's not the same. Last year for me was such a pinnacle moment in the cinema. Going to see 2 of my favorite James Bond movies. Going to see Evil Dead 1 and 2. Going to see Alien and Aliens back to back. Seeing Terminator 2 on the big screen. Going to see fucking The Thing. I've seen Escape from New York, Prince of Darkness, fucking They Live. All on the big screen. Like I almost went this year and went to go see Airplane on the big screen because I was like, I need to see this movie. But inside me, there's a part of me that goes, it's not going to be as good as The Thing, mate.
Yeah.
Every movie you see is just a bigger version of it. Seeing The Thing was like a piece of my soul had just been filled in, and I was like.
It was. I mean,
it wasn't even like, dude, it's not gonna be as good as The Thing. I'd be like, what'd you have for lunch? Like, the sandwich wasn't as good as the fucking Thing. What? It's not even comparable. What the fuck?
No.
It really was great. Like the autopsy scene, the transformation scene. Yeah. Like you're seeing like the inside that kennel in all of its high definition glory, and you're seeing the lighting, the textures, the puppetry, the effects. You're seeing the textures, the snow, the ice, the breath. Yeah. All of it in such clarity, and obviously a theater sound system. So when Ennio Morricone score kicks in, it is literally so encompassing. You get so in there.
These 4K remasters. I bought The Thing on 4K. I was watching it. I said to you, I was watching Alien the other day.
Yes, yeah.
Fucking
outstanding. Do you know what made it even sweeter as well? And that's another reason why it got to the top, or up top of my list, right? So like Gary got the Evil Dead board game, which kind of like really bummed me because I'm like, man, I really want that motherfucking board game, and you got it.
Well, you're going to play it too.
Yeah, I know. But what was even sweeter was that Gary got me the expansion. Well, at first he got me the Thing board game, which I already have one, but he got me another one. And we were like, this is amazing, which is based on the 1982 movie. For Christmas, he went out and got me the expansion, which is based on the 2011 movie.
Right.
So you actually play at the Norwegian camp, and if you're the alien, you can go and fix the ship and try and fuck off. Or there's a dog timer, and if the dog escapes, then you go into the 1982 movie.
Oh, so you can play the games back to back.
So you can play the games back to back. And awesome. Part of me is like, man, it's even sweeter because I saw the movies on the big screen. Amazing. You know, when I saw the 2011 movie, I'm like, oh, this is pretty damn good. Now I've seen the 1982 movie, I'm like, fuck yo, I'm good.
So all in all, it's been one heck of a year.
Yeah, I think it's been an amazing year.
Especially considering obviously the COVID, the lockdowns, and the restricted, like, no content. We were starved. We consumed everything.
Consumed it all.
But yeah, this year's been such a good year. And awesome list. Yeah.
I try.
Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed listening to us recount our best picks from 2022. If you disagree with us, if you agree with us, let us know in the comments down below. We'd love to see your top 10s of 2022 as well.
Yes.
We're going to take a quick break now, though, but we'll be back momentarily to answer your questions.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the third part of the podcast where we will be answering your questions. First question is from Nick.
What's up, Nick?
Welcome to 2023, my dudes.
Yeah.
Even though technically you beat me there. Question: what ending to a TV episode got you the most pumped to see the next one? The next episode could have been a letdown, but I'm more concerned with the preceding one and how pumped you got. Example, when Dark Willow, after thrashing Buffy about, gloats about being too powerful to be stopped only to be blasted by energy, and a familiar voice states, I'd like to test that theory.
Sorry.
Cheers, brohums.
Great. Sorry, I got so worked up just us talking about Willow that my watch thinks I'm doing exercise.
Wow.
Sorry.
Very excited.
You want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I've got some answers ready, but yeah, that Buffy one is great. For me, the first one that came to mind was.
Sorry, my watch thought I was walking because my blood pressure went so high.
Wow, that's crazy.
Sorry, everyone.
The first one that came to mind was Star Trek, The Best of Both Worlds.
Yeah.
TNG Season 3, Episode 26, Picard being assimilated by the Borg. Didn't know we were... Patrick Stewart was almost written out of the show. He was about to leave, so they didn't know if he was going to be coming back. Fans of the show didn't know. One hell of a cliffhanger. I had to wait a year to find out. Game of Thrones Season 5 Episode 8 Hard Home. It's the one where the Night King literally takes the town and at the very end raises the dead in front of the survivors fleeing. It just cements like the army of the dead is coming. Yeah, and talk about what you mentioned about not living up to its hype, but the hype was generated. Next one for me is who is Negan going to kill in The Walking Dead? Season 6, Episode 1. At the end of Season 5, he's there with the bat, and then we had to wait a whole year to find out who was going to get hit with that bat. And it ended up being 2. Great question, though, Nick. Thank you.
Those are really good. Do you know what? It's not even a series that I would even say that I cared about so much, but I think it was the end of Season 4 of Lost where it shows Jack and off the island and it's like, oh, where is he? And she's like, he's sleeping. You know, he's talking about Sawyer, and then he's like, we got to go back, Kate. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that is a great moment.
That was actually a really good cliffhanger as well. Yeah. I will throw out, it never finished, unfortunately, but was it Pushing Daisies? The one with the pie maker, you know, what's his name? He plays... he's in Guardians of the Galaxy. He's the main bad guy in the first one. I'm terrible with names tonight.
What, Ronan the Accuser?
Yes, thank you. Well done. It's him. And that literally ends on a cliffhanger, as in they're hanging over a cliff. And I was like, I appreciate what you did there.
For me, I was thinking of all the TV shows I've watched, and there's some really good fucking episodes.
I was going to say, Sopranos, did they ever have one of those?
I almost went with Sopranos, but I couldn't honestly think of a really... Like the last episode ending is really good, but obviously there's nothing to follow on after that.
The Fade to Black, yeah.
And some of the Soprano stuff, the season 2 with Richie Aprile, his death and everything around him, those were some really great episodes. That's what kept me going with season 2 of Sopranos and kept me going with season 3 and kept me going back. But the one that really did stick in my head was, it's in the ship! It's in the goddamn ship! And fucking Jimi Hendrix starts playing over Battlestar Galactica. You know, Cara Frace, Starbuck coming up and telling her that she knows the way home. I mean, it doesn't go far the season after that, but immediately my mind went back and went, fuck, when Boomer shot Adama,
oh, yeah.
you know, and we had to wait to see if he was going to survive, or when we found out, the end of Caprica, or like they've landed on Caprica and then the fucking base stars have just turned up. New Caprica, and then we've had to wait for them to come back, and then we've had to jump out.
The season enders, each one,
Battlestar, yeah, baby.
Nice. Okay, we've actually got a follow-up question from Nick as well.
Yeah.
He said, I've already gave you my question, but here's another one. What is your favourite Kurt motherfucking Russell quote? There's a few, but he goes with, you gonna do something or just stand there and bleed.
I particularly like fuck
you too.
Fuck you too.
Cheating bitch.
I don't give a fuck about your war, which is from Escape from New York.
It's all in the reflexes.
It's all in the reflexes. Every time he says boss in is it Captain Roy? You know,
I've not seen
where
that
he's
one.
got the eye patch and
Captain Ron.
Captain Ron, sorry, when he's in Captain Ron, and when he just keeps calling Martin Short boss. Yeah, boss. Yeah, okay, boss. Yeah, we're just doing that, boss.
I liked it in Christmas Chronicles where he's like, live and in person, one night only. That's, but you know when it pans in?
Yeah.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah. Some really fucking good ones.
Alrighty, next question is from Natalie Holbert.
What up, Natalie?
Hi guys, hope you're doing well. My question, some idiot has summoned a Lovecraftian monster and it's heading for the building that houses all the horror films ever made.
It was this guy. Out of the three of us, that would have been him.
Yeah. The room on the left holds all the horror movies made before 1990. The room on the right holds all the horror movies from 1990 up to present day. You can only lure the monster away with a bag of toffees. But good fortune, you have one. Which room do you save? For me, it was easy. Pre-90s.
Yeah.
I literally, these were all the ones that came to my head straight away. No question. Exorcist, Shining, Night, Dawn, Day of the Dead, Alien, Aliens, Evil Dead, Child's Play, Nightmare on Elm Street, Hellraiser, The Fly, The Thing, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Fright Night, Near Dark, Carrie, Jaws, The Fog, Christine, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, The Beyond, Prince of Darkness, Modern Horror. I thought of Modern Horror.
Sorry, Prince of Darkness is 91.
Is it?
I thought it was 90. Is it? Oh no, is it 89?
It's 89. Yeah.
89. Oh, sorry, my mistake.
I mean, I didn't double check, but these were all the ones that I thought were pre-90s.
I thought.
And when I jumped to thinking of modern, I immediately went to Laurie from Halloween Ends, going, "Let it burn!" I was just like, "Yeah, that's modern horror right there.
Modern horror.
Let it burn."
Yeah. 80s, easy.
Yeah, pre-90s, easy. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Good question though.
Yeah, thank you. Next question is from Bill Hoy.
What up, Bill?
What are your thoughts on the Psycho franchise? And did you guys check out The Last of Us? Love the channel, been a huge fan for a long time. When listening and watching, always feels like being around friends. Keep up the amazing work.
Sweet, cheers, man.
That's always really awesome to hear. Thank you so much, Bill.
I love the Psycho series. I've always been like, Alfred Hitchcock movies are fucking, you can't really fault them. They're fucking really good, and Psycho is really, really good. I'm a massive fan of Psycho 2. I think it's one of the best horror sequels of all time. Psycho 3 is not too great, but as it follows on from 1 and 2, which I really do like, I can go through it and I do enjoy it. I kind of like how it ends.
You said about it in like the horror tournament that we had about. There's some really great
Bates
shots
Motel,
in like 3 and
was
stuff
great.
where it was
series.
a bit underrated, wasn't it? Like the camera work in that one.
The fourth movie, The Beginning, I know some people really like it. Obviously, I think Gary's a big fan of it.
That's one of my favourites.
Another one that's like almost like a made-for-TV.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, no, I like that one.
Yeah, me too.
I spoke about this to Gary recently. I had the really rare opportunity to watch Bates Motel with Bud Cort and Laurie Petty back in the 80s, which is really hard to get come by.
Yeah.
But I had never watched the TV series, but I really do love Psycho series.
Awesome.
Nice. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the first film and the fourth film, and I enjoyed 3 seasons or so of the TV show. I never actually finished it. I was like, I got enough at that point that I was done. But yeah. Next question is from David Morris.
What up, David?
Who's on your Mount Rushmore of directors? And why? Cheers, fellas. Fist bumps all round. For me, James Cameron, Ridley Scott, David Fincher, John Carpenter. Ridley Scott, obviously, like 2 of my favourite films of all time, Alien and Blade Runner. An absolute tour de force when it comes to the technical brilliance of what he's putting on screen. He has storyboarded it. Every camera angle, every lighting, every bit that's there is there because he wants it there. Such a keen eye for detail that I find almost unrivaled sometimes. Like, unless you go, I mean, other than Kubrick, you know, and of course Kubrick. Like, I mean, they're so hard. Like, I'd also say Akira Kurosawa, Guillermo del Toro, Robert Zemeckis, Hitchcock, Tarantino. Like, there's so many. Like, Rushmore needs to have 8 heads.
Yeah, you can only have 4.
But, okay, so I've gone
four heads.
I've gone with 4, and it might seem a bit vanilla. But of course, my first 3 were all Aliens, and Alien 3 directors. But I've loved, you know, my love for film came from those films as well, and following the careers of Cameron with Terminator and True Lies and now Avatar. And David Fincher is like such an intensity to his films, like Fight Club and Seven. They're gritty and raw and urban and nasty, but interesting. And of course, like Carpenter, like just like every film he makes is cult freaking classic, just amazing.
I've got to agree with. I've got to go Ridley Scott and David Fincher.
Yeah,
Ridley Scott. Yeah, obviously, fucking that one's easy. David Fincher just probably for Fight Club alone. Tarantino. I can't not say Tarantino. I'm just gonna be a prick and say the Russos because I love Endgame. So
nice, yeah, it's fair.
Fuck you. Watch Thor: The Dark World.
I love Thor: Dark World. I really like Thor: Dark World. It's great.
Somebody's got to.
Christopher Nolan could actually. Possibly. If I'm being serious, if I take the Russos up, I'll put Nolan on.
Nice, yeah.
I mean, if I had to just go with 4, because I was thinking that when I saw the Rushmore, it would be Carpenter, Raimi, Nolan.
Yeah.
Like, I really do like the guy who did The Dead Don't Die, and he also did Ghost
I know what you mean.
Way of the Samurai.
Yeah.
What?
I can't remember his name, but
I've forgotten his name.
He does some really quirky kind of movies.
Yeah.
And they're touch and go with some people, but I've really enjoyed him. Wes Anderson, he would almost go up there.
He was, yeah.
But do you know who I honestly, and like Tarantino would go on to the 4th, but you know what? I saw a documentary recently, and I was able to wiki the Fabelmans, and I feel honestly truly honoured. And I'm getting sentimental as I'm getting older. I honestly feel really truly honoured to have existed at the same time as Steven Spielberg.
Oh yeah, it absolutely, like, he shaped our childhood movies,
our childhood,
and he's still making movies that compel us to want to go back to the theatre today.
And this is the thing, like, out of every director that I've just talked about there.
Yeah.
Carpenter, like, I love Carpenter, fucking Carpenter. Yeah. I love Raimi of all the movies that he's done.
Yeah.
I love Nolan's visuals. But Spielberg is the guy that you can look at and go, he made Jaws, Schindler's List, Saving Private Ryan, and War of the Worlds, all in one kind of fucking career of his own life. How does one guy just?
But it's not just the films he's directing as well. It's the films he's producing.
I was going to say it's the helping hand that he's had in a lot of movies. As well.
Yeah.
This is why the Rushmore question is so fucking difficult when it's a topic you actually like.
But that's why you've got to stick it to the 4.
It's really hard.
It's difficult.
Because I'd love to put James Gunn on there as well.
Because you hate to put it on record and then run into someone who might fit on it and then find out you didn't put them on it. And then you have to explain yourself.
Right. Yeah. Tough question. Great question. Next question is from Josh Delamont.
What's up, Josh?
Here are a few questions. Why has nostalgia been a trope for the last 8 years? Why sequels, remakes, and reboots keep getting made? I know it's mostly always been about money, but why?
Has it been just the last 8 years?
No, it's always. It's just always. Like, there's been remakes since before I was born.
Yeah.
Like, it's never going to end.
At the end of the day, it's a lot easier to build on existing IP than it is to come up with a brand new idea,
It's not because the original one failed, it's because it's a known name.
It's there. And to be fair, even when we say about like, remakes and stuff like that, it's I think sequels is more probably to your point, because at the end of the day, it's like.
But
it's the way it affects writing, I think, for me that annoys me, is that it's really hard. Okay, like we said about The Walking Dead, in a way, it's like you're almost watching going like, well, they're probably not going to kill anyone off really because they want to branch off on all these different, projects, right? Yeah. So it's almost like sometimes you watch a movie going, well, dude, they're not going to kill anyone off. There's not that much peril because, like, hopefully there's going to be a John Wick 17.
Right.
But
now I want John Wick 17, but still, it's
it's not just in film though, is it? Like when it comes to music,
like video games.
Yeah.
When it comes to music,
like Resident Evil 1 is likely to get another
that's
remake.
What I'm saying. When your favorite game gets a remaster, or your band gets to go on live tour again. The nostalgia, the feeling.
Yeah, Kiss are coming down here for their last tour.
The feeling that you get that feeling of, I want to see if I can reenact that feeling I had the first time I had it. You're going to get a completely, totally new feeling. And so, like with remakes and reboots and rehashes of movies, that's down to you. Like, you look at a movie, if it's a remake, and you say, I have to see that, don't go and watch it and then complain that you went and watched a remake of a movie. You fucking chose to go.
No one better be sitting here in a couple of months' time bitching about that Roadhouse remake, because if you go and see it, it's on you.
It's all fucking on you.
It's on you. Don't do it. Don't encourage them.
But yeah, I think you answered the question yourself, though, Josh. It's money.
Money.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Next question is from Havard Orion.
What up, Havard?
Would you guys ever consider redoing some of your earlier videos to match your modern day long format videos? For instance, I would love to see a 60-minute review of Predator, The Lost Boys, and The Wrestler, just to name a few. Keep up the good work. Cheers, Havard Brian. And we can answer that question and say we've already done it to a couple.
Yeah.
The Poltergeist.
We had to.
Our original video was 30 minutes, and we reviewed all 3 movies.
Yeah.
Our newest video, I think, is 50 minutes, and that's just the first movie.
Just the first one.
The Crow. Our original Crow video is 14 minutes long. The Crow video that's out now is like 40-50 minutes long. So, but those original videos were either so bad or so corrupted or lost that we, somebody then came along and Patreoned and said, can you do that? When I'm like, well, we did, but we lost it, so we'll do it again.
Yeah.
But I do agree, like the most frequent comment on our Predator review is nothing about the video itself. It's just like, this video's not long enough.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
But we find that sometimes, like when we first started doing our film reviews, we were trying to keep it short and sweet because that's what we thought people would like.
I will also say, our average viewer rate,
the sort of upload capabilities of YouTube.
Well, I mean, originally our very first few reviews were in 2 parts. It was 10 minutes and then 10 minutes for the second video, and that was it. But yeah,
now Gary can have way more tabs open, so it's easier.
It's much easier to source all the files and clips that we need. But I mean, statistically, most people stop watching our reviews about 20 minutes in. Like 90% of our audience have clicked off 20 minutes into the video. So, like when we release a 60-minute video, I'm like, well, there's like 5 of you are going to get to the end credits. I mean, I don't know the truth. That's just the analytics from YouTube.
But that's it as well. Sometimes when we've got a film that we know we like so much, we've really got nothing else to say. Like with Predator, it's just like, man, when he fucking shoots that guy with the plasma gas, it's class. It's like, yeah.
No, but the thing is,
you seen that bit where Apollo Creed's arm
and 4 of those are bots.
I agree.
No, but I do just want to say though an extra special thank you to those that obviously that do comment, that do come to the live streams, that do all that and watch the videos to their entirety, because that engagement is fantastic, and it's a bit of a like a loyalty, I guess, and we feel that.
Listen, you got to feed the algorithm at the end of the day, right?
Yeah,
it's true. No matter how you get around it, you got to feed the algorithm.
The analytics tell us when they stop watching, but it doesn't actually tell us if they come back and carry on watching. So they could stop at 9 and then come back and carry on watching.
Exactly, Beat Boy, Lo-Fi Beat Boy. Like, I don't know where. I think that Lego review is lost. I think it's one of the corrupt lost ones.
It's one of the ones that breaks my heart.
It's in the vault with Batgirl.
That was the first one.
Tax write-off.
First one I did with Dylan.
That's awesome.
The first one that we edited with him in there.
But it is something we would consider, Havard Ryan. We definitely would. And obviously, if we were to do one, The Predator would probably, even though we've said, like, there's only so much we can be like, it's awesome.
Oh my god, I could just watch The Predator.
Watch The Predator.
It's fucking brilliant.
Just watch it,
It's
yeah.
great.
Next question's from Daniel Williamson.
What up, Daniel?
What's up?
If Gary and Ian are trapped on a on a desert island, who catches fish with a spear and who collects the coconuts?
I wouldn't trust either of you to do that.
No, that's terrible.
Well,
I'm too short to get the coconuts, and I'm terrible with the spear and the fish.
So what
One of us is getting a spear to the foot.
Yeah. So
My own foot. Go on.
So
He's kidding here.
Is
He's
he
actually
joking?
joking.
yeah.
You guys are on an island,
Yeah.
and Gary, with his incredible ingenuity, has rigged up a solar panel, MacGyver style,
Yeah.
and there's a DVD player,
Yeah.
and TV, but no DVDs to watch. But a case watches up on the shore one morning. I shake Ian out of his hammock, and we rush to the beach, wondering what the case is. As they get closer, Ian spots the word DVD on the side of the chest. It feels unusually light. In fact, it contains only one DVD for them both to watch forever, each night on the island. What is it? What's the DVD?
Oh, sorry, in my mind's eye, all I can see is the set from the bottom live Hooligans Island.
yeah.
And you're in the hammock, he's like kicking you, like, get the fuck up. Like, well, I know what you're going to say. So,
No, you don't. No, you don't. Because I was gonna say it, but
I'm
now
going to say the series of Wednesday.
now-
So, like,
now- now
you don't
I've
get to
come
watch
up-
it with me.
now I've come up with something that I don't even think I can say on a podcast because I'm literally.
you
Now
probably
you got to
can.
say it. Oh, but when you edit
No.
this, no matter what he says, beep it out. And
Yeah,
fucking drive
I'm
with
going
it.
to beep it out and
Yeah.
say Terrifier 2.
No. Well, immediately I was gonna say The Thing, but I don't like the.
Of course you did. That's
Yeah, but I don't like the idea of watching The Thing on a desert island. You know, when it's sunny and it's.
Well, what
kind
if
of
it was an
warm,
Arctic
you
island?
know, then you wouldn't be out on the
freezing to death. This is fucking brilliant.
So, and taking into account that it's just me and Gary on this desert island and nobody else, then I personally would like some kind of pornography, personally, and 5 minutes alone. And then give
5
Gary,
minutes.
then give Gary back the
I want to go
remote
skip to the
control.
end.
You know, tell him that the hollowed out coconut's been cleaned and then have it.
That's not coconut milk. Hey. Oh, there you go. You're watching porn with Ian.
Thanks for the question, Daniel.
Hopefully, you die on this island.
Who screened these messages? Next question is from Craig Hall.
What up, Craig?
What's up, man?
Right then, now let's turn that Kurt motherfucking Russell question back on you with a twist.
Ooh.
Let's take 4 Kurt Russell movies: Big Trouble, Escape from New York, The
Yeah.
Thing, and Soldier,
Yeah.
and pretend
Soldier.
that he was unavailable for those iconic roles.
Ooh.
Who would you recast in each role? And don't bother copping out with any of that nobody else can play McCready bollocks, or Kurt motherfucking Russell is Snake Plissken shite.
Well, he is.
Play the game or go to bed without any Jack Daniels.
I think
shit.
Keith David would have played a really good lead for The Thing.
We're going.
if
Sorry,
McCready
I
wasn't
take it
there.
we're going on the same time period, right? 'Cause we're saying he's unavailable, so it's got to be someone.
Somebody from that
Okay.
period.
Somebody-
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And so
Okay.
I think Keith David works really, really. Roddy Piper could have done fucking McCready, I think.
Chris Christopherson.
Oh, that's McCready.
Yeah, man.
Nah,
Yeah.
too gruff, mate. Have you seen him in Convoy? It's shit.
Not based on his performance in Convoy. Like,
Wait, alright, based on his performance in Millennium. Have you seen
Blade,
that?
Whistler, and Blade.
Yeah.
He's got that, mate. You put him in that same.
Yeah,
You give him
yeah,
that
he's
fucking
got the
beard.
beard,
So
the
I
hair,
think
Tom
Christopherson do
Tom
alright.
Skerritt would have been better.
Tom
I
Skerritt's a
actually
good
thought Tom
call.
Skerritt. It was
Tom
my
Skerritt
first one,
would
but
be
I
better-
went with
better than Chris Christopherson.
for The Thing. I went with Peter Weller as McCready.
Oh, yeah.
RoboCop.
Maybe Clancy Brown for Soldier.
Clancy Brown.
Nick Cage for Soldier.
Nah, too emotional. Clancy Brown.
No, what? Use the same fucking face as you used in Face Off, mate. Like just
Clancy Brown, you know, fucking Kurgan.
Kurgan,
He could
No, I get what
fucking-
you mean.
yeah.
I don't think he was ever in that kind of shape at that time. You think, because this is like, what, early 90s Soldier? Mid 90s?
Yeah.
Wait, actually, I'm trying to think, because where I was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it's like
mid-
mid to late 90s.
mid-90s.
Yeah.
I don't think Clancy Brown was in that kind of shape.
Mate, he looked good in Starship Troopers.
Yeah, but that
the
was like
fucking
way
Sarge.
earlier.
No, that was
I
not.
don't
It was
know.
90. That made that.
Hey, I'm not assuming.
Starship Troopers is 97.
I just want to see Nick Cage with like practically zero script, because like fucking his lines in Soldier are
What?
written
So
on the
the
back
last
of
4
thing.
movies he's done, like goes.
Well,
goes
no,
to
only
the
Willy's
wasteland and
Wonderland,
shit.
really. But you know, I still think Nick Cage would be an amazing soldier.
Right, so we're going what? So we're going Nick Cage for Soldier, Peter Weller for fucking The Thing.
I'd put Sylvester Stallone for Jack Burton.
Mel Gibson.
I was like, well,
you know what? Yeah, fucking go with that because it's not Turner. Who's the other one? Fucking
Tango and Cash.
Tango and Cash. That's right.
Yeah.
And what's the last one?
I reckon Mel Gibson.
Escape from New York. I got Bruce Campbell playing Snake Plissken.
Oh man. Yeah. What a beautiful blue eye. Shame he's only got one.
Sam Elliott.
Has
Snake Plissken.
Snake Plissken.
Fuck yeah.
Fucking right. Yeah.
You won't even have to shoot anyone. He'll just talk them to do like, all right, it's cool. Like,
he's definitely better than Chris Christopherson.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
so just basically replace Kurt Russell with Sam Elliott if you had to. Just stand in anything. I mean, I'm fine with that. I'm totally cool with that. Yeah.
Okay, so on to the questions from the Twitch chat.
Oh, right, let's go.
Well, Mongo Mitch starts
What up,
us off
Mongo
with
Mongo?
just
Man.
6 more days until the Dead Space game.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Well, no, wait.
Unbelievable.
Is it? Is that a question? Does
Yeah.
he want to know? Or is he just telling us?
I think he's just telling us, which is absolutely fine.
Fucking right, man.
Hype.
Can't wait.
Mama Bucks.
What's up?
In
What up, Mama
light of the Fablemans movie coming out this year, if you knew you were going to be marooned somewhere and could only take one Steven Spielberg movie with you, which would it be and why?
Are people suggesting we're going to get marooned? Do they know something we don't?
I don't know. You on a plane
You know
lately?
what?
Or?
Jurassic Park.
Nice.
You know, it's a toss-up for me between Duel and Saving Private Ryan. I love Duel because I think it's just an amazing, original fucking start for his career, and the tension in that movie is so good. But man, Saving Private Ryan's gotta be one of the greatest war movies ever.
You
I'm
can sit
taking
there watching
Jaws.
Favourite Private Ryan, and as stuff's exploding, I can just like throw in sound at you.
I'm taking Jaws to remind myself to not go out in the ocean and stay
How are we going to
marooned.
escape? I'll tell you how we're not going to escape.
Right? Ain't going out
We're
there.
fucking swimming.
Yeah, we're fucking swimming.
Cheers, Mama Bucks. Next question is from Mahoyage.
What a Mahoj!
Hey, what's
I
up, man?
recently saw that Andy doesn't like any Vin Diesel films.
No, he doesn't.
Is there anything nice you can say about him?
Okay, well, first of all, it's Vin Diesel performances. Okay, I liked that bit in Save It Private Ryan when he's lying on the ground with a bullet in him.
Yeah, he was great in that.
I am Groot.
Fucking anyone could do that. That's like fucking. It's not even. It don't even sound like him ever since the first one. Since like
Don't
you know.
look at me
he's
when you're ranting. You always fucking have a go at me.
I know.
You're,
Yeah, I'm
you're
sorry.
wrong about
Sorry, I don't want to
Vin
start
Diesel.
my watch thinking I'm walking.
You're wrong about Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel's
Hey, listen,
great.
I'll tell you what. I'll say something about Vin Diesel that actually made me laugh. To be fair, because no, I'm not a fan at all. I think he's terrible. But there was that
Riddick's
picture that
good.
came out where like he's on a yacht and he's got this proper big belly.
Oh, really?
You know, and obviously he's famed for like being in really good shape.
Yeah.
And loads of people are like, "Fucking look at this! Look at Vin Diesel fat on his yacht." I'm like, dude, he's on his yacht. We ain't even got a yacht.
Right.
Also, I'm still quite fat, so maybe fucking give him his props at least for that. No, I'm not a fan. I don't think he's very good.
No.
That's why we don't listen to Andy.
Next question is from Jay Hines.
What up, Jay?
What's up, man?
Thoughts on the Evil Dead Rise trailer?
You
Not watching it, not going to watch
you
the
haven't seen
trailer.
the trailer
I
yet.
don't.
I saw the teaser.
Yeah,
I
And
saw the
I
teaser.
like the teaser, and I was like,
So-
"You got me." You got me.
I'm already in.
I've actually seen the trailer, and I was very surprised because when I heard that they were making a new Evil Dead movie and it was called Evil Dead Rise and it didn't have Bruce Campbell, I was really skeptical.
Well, not in front of the camera, but he is behind it.
Yeah, but I was really skeptical because I was just like, oh, really? Because as a big fan, you don't want it to move away from the source material, as we've already said of 100 other things, you know, and you're worried about how it's going to dilute the franchise and all this other kind of shit. And then I actually watched the trailer, and it's a shout out to Jay Hines as well, because he always talks about the remake Evil Dead.
Yeah.
And I recently rewatched that when we got the game. And
Solid.
I was like,
Yeah.
Solid
pleasantly
film.
surprised about how good it stood up. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what? If they take that same kind of mentality, apply it to this movie. I saw the trailer. There were some really kind of gory bits, and I'm really kind of excited that it's stemming away from Bruce, from the cabin, from what we already know. And it's basically like, hey, look, a bunch of other fucking idiots read from the book. Guess what happens?
Yeah.
You're like, people gonna get raped by trees.
I can't wait for the film, Jay. I've said it since the moment it was announced. You've got my ticket. I'm going to watch this.
Yeah, we're
Anything
going to
Evil
it.
Dead, I'm going to consume it like a rabid deadite.
Like, I wasn't gonna go. I wasn't gonna go.
I
to
know
the
you weren't.
cinema.
I couldn't
And then this
believe that.
motherfucker went,
we've seen the other movies in the cinema other than Army of Darkness. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, we're going.
We have to go now. We have to go.
The only thing I was like, is it definitely going to be in the cinema? That's the only thing I was worried about. Is if it's even going to get released. 100% will be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for the question, Jay.
Great question.
Yes.
Next question is from My Last Trick.
What about my last trick?
All-time favourite WWE moment?
Fucking hell.
Mankind being thrown off the top of the Hell in a Cell 1998.
Savage
Triple
bastard.
H returning to the Rumble after his injury.
Well, mine was when he come back on Raw.
Okay.
Is Triple H's return on Raw, because that is the loudest shit.
That is
ever
the
happened.
pop
That's
was
definitely-
amazing.
I'm gonna go with that one because that's just so hard to answer. I could be sitting here all night thinking about.
That's why I just went with King of the Ring, because we could be here all night to listen to some of the greatest moments.
What's it called? Like Shawn Michaels' return at SummerSlam to fight Triple H. That was
Nice.
pretty incredible. Shawn Michaels' first title win, despite that Iron Man match not quite holding up, but it's still an amazing moment.
All of Undertaker.
I tell you, I've got
just
one
about
more.
to say-
I do have one more.
Yeah, go for it.
Because it was literally my original interest in wrestling, and the antagonist, the one he was always against Triple H, The Rock versus Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania. I never
amazing.
thought I would see the day where
WrestleMania,
these
Icon
two were in the
versus
ring
Icon.
together.
Yeah.
It wasn't the best match ever, but it was literally two generations going at each other. And
Got to,
what a show.
Got to shout out Backlash 2000 when The Rock beat Triple H to the title when Stone Cold returned with some of the best chair shots in the world. That was
Like I
pretty
said,
amazing.
I was going to go to Judgment Day when that music, he's here.
Taker comes blasting
and he
down.
comes blasting down and casts his light.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's great moments. Love it. Love wrestling.
Cheers for the question, Last Trick.
Yeah.
Question from Mr. Will Guitar.
What up,
What's
Mr.
up,
Will?
Will?
I happened to see The Capture by chance on iPlayer. Has anyone seen this? And what do you reckon, sirs?
Nope. Never heard of BBC iPlayer. I have no idea.
No, sorry, Mr. Will. That's a
You're paying
pass
for
on
it,
all
you
three
should
of
use
us.
it.
But I will wiki it, Mr. Will. Don't worry. Just to make sure. And then we'll talk about it.
Sorry, Mr. Will.
Well, sorry, man.
Next question is from Master of Reality.
What up, Master of Reality?
Do you guys like 30s and 40s Universal horror movies? If so, what's your favourites and why?
I love me some black and white classic fucking horror, and
The Wolfman.
my all-time favorite before you go is The Invisible Man. I think it's just
Yeah.
absolutely brilliant, especially the special effects. I think it's great.
Frankenstein, just fucking Boris Karloff, man.
Yeah.
I just love that. He's fucking tattooed on my fucking hand for God's
Right, good, you want to show
sake.
it?
I don't know if you
Well,
can see very
Audio podcast.
Yeah.
again.
I know, but for those that are watching...
to describe it in an audio film, it's Frankenstein. Yeah, I love that era. I wish that they could bring it back as well, but they've tried to restart it and failed. That Dark Universe, haven't they?
They have, yeah. But except the modern Invisible Man, I thought was really impactful, really
Yeah.
good.
Oh, do you know what? Yeah, I'll let you have that.
Yeah.
But again, it was very interesting. They turned it into a sci-fi movie, though, didn't they? in a
Yes,
way?
they did. Yeah.
Best Frankenstein monster moment ever. Get rid of the Ritz! From Young Frankenstein. What was yours, Gary? You
The
didn't say
Wolfman.
what-
Yeah, I love the Wolfman.
nice,
Yeah,
nice.
the whole curse, the whole gypsy curse thing, the transformation, the man versus beast, the Jekyll and Hyde kind of thing. Yeah, the dual
Fucking
personalities.
cigar smoking. I just
with
fucking love that shit.
Gene Hackman is just pouring soup on his lap and shit.
Thank you for the question, Master Reality. Next question is from Richie Scarface.
What up,
What's up?
Richie?
Hi guys, first off, Happy New Year. For Andy and Ian, it's Richie DBZ. I had an accident at the start of the year, so changed my name and changed identity and moved countries, and nobody knows where I am. But my question is, seeing as Vince McMahon is looking to sell WWE, who do you want to be the next owners?
Oh, fuck.
Do you know?
knows.
Honestly, I'm just
Yeah.
Disney because I'm already paying for Disney Plus.
I was
Fuck
about
it.
I was about to say that same thing. Disney. Like there were lots of rumors about
I am
people
less-
around the world
yeah.
who were going to sell it. But honestly, it doesn't matter who they sell it to.
Just keep him out of
They're
creative.
just going to shove.
Just keep
they're-
Vince
they're
out of
just gonna
creative.
keep-
I care about
they're
that
gonna-
more.
No, but they need him creative because I was
No,
saying
they
that
don't.
no, they do. Right?
they don't.
People have been saying for years about wanting it going back to the Attitude Era, right? Attitude Era ended in 1999 when he made it go public. And once he made it go public,
not
it
quite,
hasn't been able to go to the Attitude Era again. He makes it go private. He can go back to those kind of things. But
you know, wait.
Yeah.
On that, you know the whole PG thing. Yeah.
Yeah. That worked for them.
That is their choice. It's nothing to do with it being public. It's not a requirement from the network. This actually came out fairly recently.
Yeah.
The networks have never required them to be PG. They've made that choice.
Because they're trying to sell it to more,
Right. So if anything's stopping it going back to the Attitude Era, it's Vince by going, no, I want it to be PG. Now,
but we don't want to go back to the Attitude Era.
Well, no, I'm not saying we do. I want it to continue as it is because the creative has never been better for years, frankly, as it has been since Triple H took over. So I don't want Vince anywhere fucking near it. I don't want him to go like, you know what someone like Karrion Kross needs? A gimp mask. I don't need that shit.
I'm gonna have this on record because
preferably don't sell it to the
when he comes out in London and to the Money in the Bank, you're praising him to heaven. Vince.
Oh, mate, I guarantee you, Vince comes out of the Rumble, he gets cheered. It's hilarious.
Yeah. I'm telling you, he's going to be out of the Rumble. He's going to be there at Mania. He's back. He never left in the first place. He had a couple of weeks off.
I was so I have enjoyed Bray Wyatt's content so much, and he hasn't even wrestled. There's no way that continues. There's no way that continues.
His match at Rumble better be fucking good, or those promos are going to be.
I'm sure it will be, but
he needs to win the Rumble.
Who? Bray? No, he doesn't. You keep him as far away from that world title as possible. He's the last thing he needs is the world title.
Then they go nowhere with his character.
They go everywhere with his character.
They better go somewhere with his character. All I've seen is him pull off promos with LA Knight.
Yeah, and they've been phenomenal.
LA Knight.
Who's been great.
That's his adversary at the moment. LA
that's
Knight.
His first guy back.
LA Knight wasn't any good in TNA. He was no good in NXT, and he's about to get smashed by Bray Wyatt. So all of this is building up. No, sorry, guy. We're completely.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Triple H.
That's totally fine.
I'm going to yell Triple H at times to wake up.
Next fucking podcast, we're going to be all over. The rest of the whole news is going to be Rumble news. Right?
Put it this way, it's going to be. 2022 was an interesting year for wrestling anyway, but it's going to be very
crazy.
What happens. Seems like every morning I wake up and there's some new fucking news story, but there's a lot of speculation as well, which annoys me.
Yeah.
And a follow-up question from Richie Gary. Do you have Dead Space already installed and ready to play? No, I don't. But I'm going to.
He's already installed. He'd be kicking us out right now. Get out, I want to play.
But no, I do know that if you are pre-ordering it on Steam, that you actually get given free Dead Space 2. So if you've never played the Dead Space games before, you buy the new one, then you get to roll right into Dead Space 2 afterwards if you're playing it on PC. That's awesome.
That's immense.
That's really awesome.
Yeah,
I love the second one.
No, I will absolutely be getting it though, Richie. It's almost a reminder, so thank you. Alrighty, we got one last question, and it's from Code Dude.
What up, Code Dude?
What's the backlog like for movie reviews these days? Cheers for the question, Code Dude. And in all honesty, after COVID, and
it's called a backlog for a reason,
and obviously, me and Ian made that executive decision to stop recording Patreon requests whilst we were all in lockdown, and Jess stepped in for 3-4 months or so, and in that time, all of the Patreon lists more kept coming in, and the backlog got extensive, and I do know like the Keep that's just gone out. There's another one coming out soon. Some patrons have waited a year or just a bit more to get their request. What I can say is that those that are requesting now are only going to be waiting a few months before their film comes up. Because I know we're all living in it's not like a whine or anything. It's just the facts. Our Patreon revenue is dipping. Our YouTube revenue is dipping. Obviously the Patreon support is the backbone. It's phenomenal, but I understand times are freaking hard right now, and so all the support we get is amazing, keeps us going and keeps us being able to do what we do, but of course there hasn't been as many new sign-ups lately, which is also fine as long as our existing ones stay. Please. But it does mean next week, Ian and I, for the first time since starting the Patreon, are choosing which films we want to review.
Yeah.
And that is, we're kind of a little bit excited because there are certain films that we're really like, oh, we get to pick now. We get to choose.
Well, you said this to me, didn't you? You said, look, our Patreon list is starting to get low because we have completed it. And we do send out messages to, obviously, the people who are already still signed up to us to say, look, can you give us some more film reviews so that, obviously, they keep donating to the show and we keep doing their film reviews. And then, like, we see more messages come through in comments from people saying, look, can you review this, instead of them signing up and obviously donating to us. So with our list going low, Gary even mentioned it to me, like, what should we start doing? And I said, dude, let's just start looking at all the messages that people drop us, and
most frequent comments.
We start doing that because, like, getting the money in is cool and it helps and it keeps us going. But Jesus Christ, when we first started, we had nothing and all we had was films to do. You know, if that's where we go back, then I know that we'll surge back up again, because that's all you just got to keep doing. You just got to keep those film reviews going out, the content going out. Yeah, fuck it. I'd love to get paid for it, but at the end of the day, if I'm working to do something to just keep it going, and then the payoff is in a little while, then let's get to that little while. Just don't take a fucking advantage. You know? Don't just everybody quit and just go, yeah, we're just going to put it in the fucking YouTube channel now and Ian's going to pick up the list. Because I won't. I'll just say to Gary, no, fuck it, we're going back to Curse of the Queer Wolf. We'll go back to fucking movies that these people have never heard of before.
Curse of the Queer Wolf.
There is a movie called Curse of the Queer Wolf.
I thought
highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Highly recommend
You're talking
it.
about Terrifier? Fuck you. Curse of the Queer Wolf, man. I told you I knew movies more than you.
On that note, Ian highly recommends Terrifier 2. Best movie of 2022.
But not getting drawn into that one.
With that, that's going to bring us to the end of podcast 52. I just want to say thank you, Ian and Andy, as always.
Pleasure.
And of course, thank you to everyone in the live chat right now. That means so much. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in and listening to this podcast. We'll be back next month, celebrating our 10-year anniversary of Off the Shelf Reviews.
You want to do the Jeremy Piven bit there, like 10 years.
Yes! So hopefully you guys tune in next month. Of course, you can find us on Discord, on Patreon, on Facebook, on Twitter, and on YouTube.
Yes.
Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. We'll see you on the next one.
Take it easy.
Take care, guys.
Awesome.
Ooh, man. Good audience.
Man. Great.
Of course.
Audience.
Thank you.
Awesome
Thank
chat.
you so much, chat, for being there for us. It really does mean so much to have you guys in the chat, because sometimes we miss a director's name, we get something wrong, and you guys are like there. Ian's Wikipedia live in the chat, ready to...
he said it, yeah.
Exactly. So with that, though, we've gone quite late, and I know Ian and Andy have got to skedaddle.
Yes, we've got shit to do.
We're not going to go on a raid today. We're just going to drop the curtain and scuttle away for the weekend.
Yes.
But of course,
off to a desert island.
Off to a desert marooned island with porno and Jaws.
Grab a DVD.
And Jaws the porno.
Let him watch, bro. It'll be done.
Jaws the porno. My God, that's a great title.
I was trying to think of a parody porn name. But just Jaws is enough anyway, right?
Jaws the porno, yeah.
Oh dear. That's time to go.
Yeah,
probably time to end the stream.
Time to end the stream now, guys. Are you back on Monday?
I'm going to be back on Monday, guys. I'm looking to get high on life.
Oh,
on Monday. It's a game that a few people have requested that I take a look at.
Yeah, it's funny.
Of course, you mentioned it already, man. So it'll be my first look at the game. So join me on Monday afternoon. We're going to get high on life.
Take it easy.
Take care, everyone.